And welcome in. So, SMU, while I wasn't live, went on a nice drive, a beautiful drive, I would say, after Penn State punted and kind of had a really awkward first attempt where they went 3 and out. Now it's 4th and 1 inside the Penn State 20, and SMU's looking to cash this one in. So, welcome back. This is the second ever first round playoff game of the 12-team college football playoff. Let's see what happens. I mean, right now SMU's driving down the field. They've had some success running, some success passing, and SMU came out and kind of looked pretty awkward here on their first series. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, also hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when we go live for Texas Clemson and also for, of course, Tennessee versus Ohio State, the game tonight. So SMU wins, I'm telling you. Here we go, Penn State, looking at the chat here. So, yeah, we got a lot of concurrent viewers back. So let's try and get 500 likes today on this stream and hopefully tens of thousands of views. We got tens of thousands of views from yesterday's stream, but hopefully we can really pump these numbers up here, doing live play-by-play and commentary here. I have water, a notepad, take some notes. Last night, Indiana just got boat raced straight up. Okay, the game is back on here. I want the volume to be on my TV, but if it's too loud, YouTube will penalize me. They're going to go for it as a play action, and Kevin Jennings, oh my gosh, he should have ran that. Incomplete on 4th and 1. If he ran it, he'd pick up the first down, but he wanted the touchdown. He threw it to Matthew Hibner, and Hibner got hit and dropped it, so Penn State gets the ball back. He should have ran that right there. Literally, it was a play action rollout, and 88 Hibner was briefly open, but it was kind of an awkward pass by Jennings. He should have just ran it to pick up the first down, and right there, Rhett Lashley's doing the surrender cobra on the sidelines like, come on, we had that. SMU had 7 dropped passes in the ACC championship game against Clemson, 6 in the previous 12 games, and here they already have a critical drop on 4th down. And we will answer super chats and other chats in during the commercial breaks. Tyler Warren, amazing play. And he's in the Wildcat QB position. He picks up about 6 on a run all the way out to the Penn State 25. It'll be 2nd and 4. Number 44 for Tyler Warren. Great player. Elite player. He's an alien. He is. And with Bo Pribula in the portal, not with the team, it's very critical that, Aller stays healthy, but if he can't, then Warren will be the backup QB, I think. Katron Allen, with a gain of 1 or 2, it'll be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 for Penn State. Will they pick up a 3rd down, or will they punt it back to SMU, who had some initial success? Both of these teams were participants in their conference's championship games. SMU in the ACC, Penn State in the Big Ten. Runner-ups, so they lost to Clemson for SMU and Penn State to Oregon, respectively. Unlike last night's game where Indiana finished 3rd in the Big Ten, Notre Dame is an independent, so they can't play for a conference championship game even if they were, deserving of such. And I think last night they clearly showed they were. Aller with time in the pocket, he wants to take off and run, and he's going to pick up a first down with his legs for about a gain of 7 all the way out to the Penn State 33 for a first down to move the chains. What I'm noticing so far is that both of these teams are just a little bit awkward, a little bit off kilter. They're just settling in. It's very early, of course. Just like Notre Dame, Indiana last night, both teams were very awkward, and then Notre Dame began to settle in. They started faster than IU, were the better team than IU, and that's why they beat them. And it was really, the final score was 27-3, not 27-17, like the final score suggested. It is going to be a handoff right there to Katron Allen, who bounces outside but then trips, unfortunately for him. Mad at himself. It's a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11 from the Penn State 32. If he kept his footing, that could have been a first down right there, but he tripped on the turf. It'll be a loss of 1, really a no-contact TFL for Penn State right there. They're huddling. Andy Krolnicki's offenses, they love to milk clock. They love to play game control. They can go up tempo. They can score quickly if need be, but they love going slow. And yeah, that's what they love, going slow and ball control. It will be a play action for Aller. Aller is going to shovel pass it to Kaytron Allen, who makes up for that stumble by picking up a gain of 13 and getting all the way out to the Penn State 45-yard line. A little bit of a kind of just like, I don't know how to describe it other than the motion, but kind of a two-arm like push-out pass, I guess, right there. It'll be another handoff to Kaytron Allen, and he's tackled in the backfield. SMU read that very well. It's a TFL for 1. It'll be 2nd and 11 again, this time from the Penn State 44. A little bit of up-tempo there from Penn State, mixing in tempos. So the Nittany Lions are driving. They're getting behind schedule, but then making up for it at moments. Penn State, their offense is scoring 33.6 points per game. They are averaging 0.503 points per play, and they are averaging 6.7 yards per play, which is 4th nationally. Nicholas Singleton gets the ball, and he gets about a gain of 3, so it'll make it 3rd and 8 from the 47-yard line of Penn State. They're going to be in a 3rd and long situation there. Speaking of 3rd down, Penn State is 12th nationally in 3rd down conversion percentage, converting 47.77% of their 3rd downs. You look at SMU here. SMU allows opponents to only complete 32.78% of 3rd downs. That's 15th nationally. So 2 top 15 3rd down conversion units here in Penn State's offense and SMU's defense will be facing off. An injury occurred for SMU. I believe that was 81. Jared Harrison Hunte, defensive tackle for SMU, went out of the game, and we're at commercial break. So time to mute the good old TV. And let's get to comments and also take a little bit of a water break here. Hey everyone, Justin Ziegler feels like if Penn State doesn't win the game, Franklin is going to be aggressive in the portal due to the pressure he'll face in 2025. If they win, if they win, could play the winner of Georgia versus Notre Dame. Yeah, you got to get through Boise State first, and Boise State probably has more X-Factor players than SMU just due to the fact of Ahmed Hassani in their D-end and also, more importantly, Ashton Jeanty, their running back. But SMU's a better team than Boise State. So as long as you don't overlook Boise State, which you shouldn't, yeah, should be in a good position with a win over SMU to play the winner of Georgia versus Notre Dame. By the way, Notre Dame will be favored in that game against Georgia because power ratings-wise, Notre Dame is top 2 in the country. And after last night's win, they're unanimously top 2, if not close to unanimously number 1. Yeah, SMU QB got greedy. Wideouts can't get open, same as it ever was. Too many commercials. Yep. That's college football right now. Remember, it's the Fortnite OG kickoff. I hate what some of these bigger corporations have done. Hey guys, welcome into the Fortnite OG college football play. Like, go away, seriously. Make sure, I see we have a lot of concurrent viewers here. If you haven't already, guys, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. You want to subscribe to the channel because this next week over Christmas, I'm going to be doing a giveaway to celebrate reaching 20,000 subscribers. That was a goal of mine for at least this fall. Oh, we wanted to grow more than that, and maybe through these games we can. Actually, you know what? Let's make that a goal. I want to grow because we're going to be live streaming all of the college football playoff games, all of them, where we will be doing play-by-play commentary. I have the scoreboard at the bottom. I have depth charts in front of me. I'm telling you what's going on with a different perspective than a lot of these play-by-play callers and color commentary guys are, and you won't have to hear me say Fortnite OG, nor will there be any or there won't be the same annoying commercials. I will be putting commercials in because, you know, I gotta earn something, but they will be much shorter and they won't be as annoying or toxic as the commercials on TV. So please subscribe, please like, and we're back to the game. It's 3rd and 8 for Penn State. SMU sends a blitz. Aller is in the pocket. He overthrows his man, though. He had good protection, just a little bit to the left, though, of Harrison Wallace for Penn State, number 6. Harrison Wallace III is their best wide receiver by a mile. Their best receiver is Tyler Warren, obviously the tight end 44. I imagine Nicholas Singleton might be a better receiver than some of Penn State's starting receivers, like let's say Liam Clifford, for example, or Amari Evans. Their wide receiver room, Harrison Wallace III is very talented, but he's just one guy, and it's better to have a lot of good wide receivers than one great wide receiver, for example, but then the others aren't good or not even average. So SMU will get the ball inside the 20. It's actually an okay punt for Penn State because Riley Thompson has struggled this year. Their punter has struggled mightily. Now SMU gets the ball back. Penn State improved off of their last drive, but they didn't get any points. SMU with a chance to rectify and make up for that failed 4th down conversion where Kevin Jennings got greedy. He should have made the right decision and just, scrambled for a first down on 4th and 1. That may come back to bite them if SMU loses this game in close fashion. And these teams look pretty close for now. It is a run for Brycen Smith, and he is swallowed up by what is one of the best defensive lines in the country. That was Deni Dennis Sutton, number 33 for Penn State, was in on that. And, of course, you also have Zane Durant, number 28, Devon J. Thomas, 91, and Abdul Carter, number 11. That is the Penn State defensive front right there. I think it's one of the best in the country. I think that some of Penn State's other problems on defense relate more to their secondary and linebacker core than a D-line that is littered with NFL talent, especially Abdul Carter. Penn State brings pressure, and it is an interception. Threw it right to number 0. I believe that is Dominic DeLuca. Yes, and Dominic DeLuca gets a pick 6. Touchdown, Nittany Lions. What a play. Dominic DeLuca, a backup middle linebacker for the Nittany Lions, picks it off, brings it back. Here on TNT, we have a TNT explosion right here. What a huge momentum play by a Penn State defense that had a bad game against Oregon and really just has compensated for so far what has been an awkward offense here. So Penn State 6, SMU nothing. Kevin Jennings was looking for, I believe it was Brycen Smith or Hibner. It was a tight end or running back. Overthrew his guy right into the hands of DeLuca, and Penn State's now up 7-0. Can't have that type of mistake. The crowd is going to be active now. And I don't know if SMU has what it takes to come back like, let's say, Ohio State did after they threw that pick 6. They don't have the same talent that OSU does, nor the same mental advantage. So, touchdown Nittany Lions. And we're at commercial break here. So, wow. Yep, Penn State pick 6 brought to you by Fortnite OG. Go away. I hate this. I mean, I like that it's on TNT, like a different network, and I think that it's Mark Jones, and I forget the announcers' names because they don't call many big games, but I like them as announcers, personally. They've called a lot of, like, Big 12 games, some Colorado games I know over the past, 2 years. I like them, but why the Fortnite OG? It just doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. I'm still waiting for the tech that implants ads into your subconscious. Yeah, coming to you in the 14-team college football playoff. That's when that's coming to you. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing this every commercial break because it's important. We have a ton of new viewers pouring in. But please, as you see on the screen, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I go live for Texas Clemson later today and also for Tennessee versus Ohio State tonight. And when we go live for, Notre Dame versus Georgia, when we go live for the winner of this game against Boise State, for the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State for Oregon in the Rose Bowl, and the winner of Texas Clemson for Arizona State in the Peach Bowl, we are going live for all the college football playoff games with the goal to grow the best Big Ten football and college football community on YouTube. Emphasis on the college football community on YouTube. So please do that. We're doing commentary here, live play-by-play, and it's awesome. So do those things, and we'll be in good hands, I think, this channel and everything Will be. And we're also going live tomorrow at noon Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time to talk about the four first-round college football playoff games and react to them and, different topics surrounding each of these teams. So make sure to do those things. We're going to take a quick commercial break here. I'm going to drink some water, and then we'll be right back. All right, man, we got a jump in concurrent viewers. Holy cow. A huge jump in concurrent viewers. That's incredible. Everyone, just want to remind you, super chats will be prioritized, and as there are more concurrent viewers, it's going to be harder to read the chat as more people get involved. So, just a reminder there. Penn State kicks it off. 6:08. Is that a kick out of bounds? Yes, it is. So, special teams mistake by the Nittany Lions after they got that pick six. It will be 1st and 10 for SMU at their own 35 with good field position. So, let's get going here. Look at right here. Yeah, he was trying to hit Brycen Smith, and he threw it not just over his head, but he threw it far to the right of Smith and right into the hands of DeLuca. It's just, you can't do that in a game like this. You can't do it. It's like, think of Michigan versus TCU. You throw the pick six, and that drive where, you failed on 4th down in the red zone, but you went down the field, all that's wasted. You're immediately behind the chains, and Penn State has an explosive offense that is eventually going to wake up. They always do with Kotelnicki. And with the exception of OSU, but Ohio State's defense is just, it's that good. Smith gets about a gain of 5 out to the 40 of Penn State right there. A little bit of a toss to the right side, to the short side of the field. Brycen Smith with a gain of 5. He is a tank of a running back, that man is, and he's a non-negotiable that Penn State will have to deal with. Conservative front for Penn State. Smith right up the middle for about a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd and 2 from the Penn State 43. Deny Dennis Sutton, number 33, defensive end for Penn State as the stop there. SMU is going tempo. They're not huddling. It looks like their receivers right across the line of no. It's just a bad spot by the computers. Brycen Smith runs forward, and he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage by, once again, that powerful Penn State front four. A front four that is one of the best in the nation. I'd say only behind, definitely, the Michigan Wolverines, but they're ahead or similar to everyone else. And right there, they actually did a good job of blocking Abdul Carter, but number 28 there, for Penn State, Zane Durant was up in there. Same with number 1, Jalen Reed, the strong safety. So now SMU will be forced to punt here. Looks like Penn State's aware of and watching for a fake. Fake doesn't come. It is a line drive punt that is very short. That's a horrible punt. I think out at the Penn State, 32, 33? I meant to say SMU, by the way. I didn't mean to say Penn State when I was talking about the drive. That was an error on my part. But yeah, that was a horrible punt. Penn State's going to be past their own 30-yard line. They don't even need to drive 70 yards to get into the end zone here. And I think this is a commercial break, but that was a weird transition. But then again, it's TNT. So I don't know what to expect. All right, man, the chat is active here. What's up with these punters recently? I think a large part of it, SFS inverted, is the fact that it's a lack of development. I think what you have seen this year, in part, is a huge lack of development around college football. Special teams units have been worse at the top level. But then again, there's also the thing that, so take into account like Michigan, for example. The previous 3 years, they've made the college football playoff. And Michigan typically has really good special teams. They did this year. They did in 21 and 22. 2023, their special teams unit was pretty bipolar. Elite kicking, pretty okay. Good punting, but just they were terrible with, muffed punt returns and all that. They were good at special teams. Alabama under Saban last year had one of their best special teams units ever. Reichard is a really good kicker, doing well in the NFL right now, and he was with Alabama for the previous 3 years. Georgia's had good kickers and good punters. So a lot of the teams at the top recently have had good special teamers, but the reality is that hasn't always been the case. I mean, think of the older Saban teams in the 2010s. Their special teams units were awful. Clemson has not been known for having great special teams units. So I just think maybe there's a regression to the mean at the top, where special teams units for good teams recently have been better than usual, and they're regressing. I also think it's the transfer portal. There's a lot of transfers going around at punting and kicking and everywhere, and I think we're seeing that part of the reason why it may be a down year is not just a lack of depth, but when you're transferring different places and you have to learn new systems and, maybe change your body type or the style that you play individually to fit the needs of the team, well, when you make those changes, you're pivoting. So you're not honing in your specific skill set for 4 years. You're honing one skill set for a year and maybe a variant of that skill set for another year. Then maybe you transfer somewhere else and you're honing an entirely different skill set. And I just think as a result of that, there's a little bit of a lower quality across the board at the top. That's just my opinion personally. Again, make sure everyone to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell. I know I'm going to be saying it often and it will be annoying, but we have a lot of new people in here that will be coming in and out, and we want to retain as many viewers as we can. Glad to see that we're retaining about 300 right now. Not even the end of the first quarter. Play fake by Drew Aller. He throws it, and it is caught by number 16 for Penn State. That will be Khalil Dinkins, the backup tight end to Tyler Warren. It will be a first down for the Penn State Nittany Lions. About a gain of 15 right there. Tyler Warren is in the game, though, with Dinkins, so you got two tight ends in this game, and I think that is really a benefit to Penn State. Their tight end room, not just in terms of ceiling, but in terms of depth, is better than their wide receiver room. First down and 10 for Penn State at their own 45-yard line. Tight formation. Will it be a handoff? Yes, it will. Singleton has it. Singleton is going to run and pick up a gain of 15 all the way out to the SMU 40. Nice run, burst, and patience by Nicholas Singleton, the starting running back for the Nittany Lions. Singleton, when healthy this year, has been one of the best running backs in all of college football. 6.4 yards per carry, 838 rushing yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. Wow, threw a laser across the middle to Tyler Warren, Aller did. It will be first down Penn State, gain of 15 all the way out to the 26 of SMU. So Penn State, their offense looks to be humming right now, and they are down just outside of the red zone at the SMU 26. According to FPI, Penn State has a 85% chance to win this game. My score prediction for this game, by the way, was Penn State 34, SMU 17. Based off of how this is going, Penn State might fulfill my score prediction for them, but I don't know if SMU will, but we'll have to see. It is a shovel pass to Tyler Warren, only for a gain of 2, but if Aller kept it or handed it off to Singleton, it probably would have been a play for a loss. So Warren picked up 2, maybe 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8, 2nd and 7 at the SMU 24-23 yard line. At least Penn State's in field goal range, in a position to go up by multiple scores here. That was a incomplete pass right there. Weird. It was kind of like a running back pass out of the backfield, but SMU, not Moochie Dixon, that's number 5 on offense. Elijah Roberts, the defensive end, did a good job deflecting that ball, and it was still catchable after the deflection, but it confused Singleton, and he just dropped it. So incomplete pass, 3rd and 8. Andy Kotelnicki is there up in the booth with the play sheet. It's not a Denny's sheet. It's not a Waffle House sheet. It's an actual play sheet, unlike some of the coordinators in the world where it feels like What are you doing for all these millions of dollars? But Kotelnicki's the real deal. Just like Mike Denbrock, just like Will Stein at Oregon. But Penn State gave up a sack there. That was number 5, Elijah Roberts, again, the defensive end with pressure. Loss of 6. It will be fourth and it'll be 4th and 14, 4th and 13 from the SMU 29. So Penn State will have to go out and they will have to attempt a field goal. And this will be in the 40s. This will be a 46-yarder if Penn State decides to kick the field goal, and it looks like they're going to. Nope, they're going to go for it. I don't know why they would do this. I don't know why you would do this. But Aller is maneuvering in the pocket, and it's an incomplete pass. Don't know what Penn State was thinking there. Maybe they didn't trust Ryan Barker, who is an accurate kicker, but ultimately, like, he doesn't have a lot of leg there. 46 yards may have been a miss, but I didn't understand that. I think it's early. I don't think you need to be aggressive. Going up by 14, going up by 10, there is a difference, but both are 2-score games, and SMU can score touchdowns. They're not a limited offense per se. So I thought that going up by 2 scores there was more important than going up exactly by 2 touchdowns. But yeah, interesting play call there. Definitely Franklin there on the play, like Kotelnicki with the play design, but Franklin approves of that. He's the CEO. And Penn State sent a blitz, and they got through, but they didn't tackle the right guy. So backup running back L.J. Johnson Jr., incoming transfer from Texas A&M. I think he's been with the team for SMU for 2 years now, though. Got a gain of 8. So huge opportunity missed there by Penn State. Massive opportunity missed by Penn State. They chewed a lot of clock. They are ahead 7-0, but it's still, you would have liked to be up 10-0 or 14-0, really put some pressure on SMU. They're still very much in this game. Kevin Jennings is back there. They're spreading the offense out. It is going to be an overthrow. Had his man right there. Not Moochie Dixon, but instead Brycen Romello had his man, number 11, beat. He had did they have Abdul Carter? I think they had Abdul Carter on him. There is a holding. No, they did not have Abdul Carter on him. Hold on Abdul Carter. That's why they were panning to number 11. They got a hold right there. And Carter is immediately pointing back saying, get back there. You can't hold me like that. Can't do it. You know, in the Penn State-Oregon game, both sides were getting away with pretty bad holds. I think it's a part of the reason why both teams had success running the ball. I think there may have been more sacks and fewer big rushing plays for both teams. Still a fun game, not going to lie, but it was a game where, you know, the Big Ten refs don't like to call things. They like to let teams play it out and be a little rougher. I don't know if that's the case here. This is a swing pass out to Brashard Smith. It's 2nd and 2. He gets about 7 back, so good play by him. Could have easily been a TFL for Penn State, but he is out to the SMU 34. It'll be 3rd and 5. This will be the final play likely of the first quarter, unless it's an incomplete pass. But with Kevin Jennings and with Rhett Lashley as the play caller, maybe they'll run here. Hubie designed to run. Maybe they feel like they can run it with their running back. I don't know what they're going to do here. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Tight formation. Abdul Carter is out like in whole 9 tech. He's like completely off. He's on the, wow. Spin move, and he's going to throw it, and wow, I think he's short of the first down. They should spot that. The ball was not across. I think they'll check it because they spot it as a first down. It was a good catch by Keshawn Smith, but I don't think he extended the ball. I think he hit contact about like a half yard before the first down marker. Let me see this play. So he beat his guy, Jalen Kimber, but yeah, let me look at that marker. I don't think he reached the first down. Could be wrong. But it is the end of the first quarter here. We have 333 concurrent viewers, 26 likes. Guys, let's get the likes up to 50. let's get him up to 100 before halftime. Let's get him up to 50 right now. I know that we can do that with the concurrent viewers we do have. I'm going to take a water break, insert some ads, and then we'll get to the chat. See you guys soon. Oh, thank you. Yeah, mic off. Thanks. Okay, so I was muted. Thank you guys for correcting me on that one. Thankfully, it wasn't during a broadcast of the game. All I was saying was I agree with Bald Father Betts and what was it? Oh wow. Yeah. James effing Franklin, as you guys are saying in the chat. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. And someone was saying Sofira Faga Ibalema, they have a bad kicker. Ryan Barker's not bad. He's just not elite. Like he's made 40-yarders before. I think he can make that kick. They gave him the first. Yeah. It was 4th and inches, but they gave it to him. So let's see what happened or what happens. But that's all I was talking about was the fact that I don't think it was a first down. That may actually have benefited Penn State, though, based off of this play, because they just tackled Larry. They tackled Johnson Jr. for a slight TFL, LJ Johnson Jr. For a slight TFL, or he just got back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10 for SMU. 2nd and 10 is easier to defend, I think, than 4th and inches in the long run of things, especially when you run a screenplay, but then there's poor tackling, so he gets all the way out to the 40. If he just tackled right there, would have been only a gain of 3, but instead, it's a gain of like 20 right there. Because, yeah, they're at the 39 of SMU, the Mustangs are. They're at their own 39, and then great play there to get all the way out to the 40 of Penn State by Roderick Daniels Jr., the wide receiver. 1st and 10 in Penn State territory. They can make this a game here. And by a game, I mean, it is a game, but they can make it tied 7-7. And there is an injury, unfortunately. Looks like Penn State player. It's a Penn State player who's down. Can't exactly read the number. It looks like it's a 6 on the side of the helmet. But that's unfortunate. I hope that he's okay. Ooh, that was just a play where, Roderick Daniels Jr. just broke a tackle. And instead of it only being a gain of 4, it ended up being a gain of 21. So that's 17 yards after contact right there. That's a huge, huge underrated statistic, is yards after contact. Because Penn State's, that's number 6 for Penn State defensively. And number 6 is Zakee Wheatley, starting free safety. He's walking, though, under his own weight. I bet you he'll be back in the game at some point. It looks like what happened is he just kind of like belly flopped on the cleat of Roderick Daniels. Probably got the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully he's okay. But that's what looked like it happened. Just got the wind knocked out of him. Like, holy cow, yeah, he's running. He looks like he's going to be good. He's just coming out of the game for I don't know, maybe a play, maybe a series or few. But it's 1st and 10 at the Penn State 41 for SMU. Brashard Smith is out there, and he's tackled for a loss of, wow, that's a loss of 6. And that right there is Cam Miller, the backup nickelback, the Lion player. The Lion position, that's what they call the nickelback at Penn State. That is a loss of 6. So 2nd and 16. Penn State's defense, I'm telling you, their inside and outside leverage is some of the best in the country, but their tackling is not the best. If they had the best tackling in the country, this defense would be much better. And the unfortunate thing, if you're a Nittany Lion fan, is that's coaching more than anything. But there is pressure. Overthrew his man was Roderick Daniels Jr. again on the target, but Jennings overthrew him. Probably would have been only a gain of 5, so still well behind the chains. SMU is. Penn State brought some pressure. It was in perfect position right there, but that was Jalen Reed was right there to tackle him and even hit him after the play because he was in that good of a position. But it was just overthrown, not great communication. I wouldn't be shocked if SMU runs it here just to try and maybe get in a better position to go for it. Maybe they have a really good kicker. I don't exactly know if SMU is an elite kicker or not. But 3rd and 16, SMU's going to have to call a timeout due to confusion, due to the crowd noise. So they take their 2nd timeout of the game. The whiteout is active. And then the Penn State video board said, "Thank you. You just caused a false start." Not exactly a false start, but I get the message there. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. That's epic. Man, got 50 likes. We got 53 likes. It's not even halftime. Let's try and get up to 100 likes if we can right now. Please hit the like button. Let's get this up to 100 likes, everyone. I am confident that we can do that. And of course, super chats are a priority. Jennings' accuracy is not good in this game. Going for Gold 85 back from last night, even though the game wasn't fun, I did enjoy the stream last night. SMU should read option on this and get a chance to go for it, or get stuffed and be in a better position to punt and pint them deep. Good point, Bald Father Betts. They have a big-legged, solidly accurate kicker. Okay. Sweet. So, Texas and Clemson and Ohio State, Tennessee, I don't think are going to be like extremely competitive affairs. I think Ohio State's going to win big, and I think that Texas is going to win even bigger. Is kind of my thought process here. So, right now, Penn State's given a 78.9% chance to win this game per FPI. Yardage, TOP is about equal. The difference is Penn State has the pick 6, and SMU has that one turnover that led to a pick 6. But yeah, for first round playoff games, the home teams, as I said last night in the stream, are either as good or better than the teams that they are hosting, and home field advantage is big. I think you saw that a little bit last night for IU versus Notre Dame, and Notre Dame was the better team than Indiana. So I think that here, Penn State's the better team than SMU, and they're also hosting. Texas is the much better team than Clemson. They're hosting. And Ohio State's better than Tennessee, and Ohio State's hosting. That's kind of honestly how the first round's meant to be, by the way, guys. It's like the first round of the basketball tournament. You're going to get maybe some upsets occasionally. For college football, it's going to be rarer because there's more of a distance and more of a disparity between the 20th best roster and the 10th best roster just because the rosters are larger. So there's more of a room of error for you to, bring in a bad player, and there's you have to have a lot more resources to have a good football roster than a good basketball roster, for example. So Penn State brings a 4-man pressure. They almost get to Jennings. Jennings is going to pass and throw another interception. Bad play by Jennings, and that is number 13, and 13 looks like he may bring it back to the house for Penn State. He does. Another pick six for Penn State. That right there. Who even is number 13? Number 13 is, I don't even have my depth chart, do I? No, I do. Tony Roas, weak side linebacker, and he's had a rough year. But right now, Deion Jennings is having a rough game. Rough game, 2 pick sixes. Kevin Jennings, my bad, not Deion Jennings. Kevin Jennings having a rough game. Tony Roas with the pick six. And that is a killer. He forced it. He should have thrown it away, but he forced it instead. And a Penn State offense that has been struggling, has put up no points on the board, failed on a 4th down conversion, is right now hanging on their defense, relying on their defense. Tony Roas picked it off right in the air like it was a punt, like it was a punt recovery. Tom Allen celebrating in the booth right there. Roas brings it back 55 yards, 60 yards back to the house, 14-0, Penn State. And now the Nittany Lions have an 89.8% chance to win. This Penn State defense, this Penn State defense is just murdering SMU's offense in terms of fundamentals and in terms of discipline and completing the play, finishing. Penn State's defense is finishing. SMU's offense is not finishing at all. Who was he throwing to? Exactly. Baldfather Betts. Who was he throwing to? Colby Vlach. They got to bench Jennings, man. 14-0, but pick sixes is nasty. Before the game, Jennings said the Penn State defense won't be a problem, LOL. Looks like rather he's having a problem reading Penn State's defenses. And yeah, commercial. It's just, wow. Holy cow. Holy cow. 2 pick sixes. This is the funny thing, too. Because of that, Penn State's defense is going to be on the field like quite a bit, but at this point you want to be on the field. You're in Jennings' head, you're owning the line of scrimmage on your defense versus their offense, and you're winning on the line of scrimmage with your offensive line as well. You're in a prime position to win right here. Wow. Tony Roas with an interception. Roas this season, he's a sophomore, started as a true freshman for last year, 6'2", 239 pounds from Fairfax, Virginia. This season, he has had 46 tackles, 27 of them solo, 2 passes defended, a sack, and 2 interceptions. This was his 3rd, and he returned it for a pick six. It was a 59-yard interception return. Would have been much better off just throwing it away, making it an incomplete pass, and punting and pinning Penn State deep. Crazy. You had that 4th and 1 where Kevin Jennings was greedy. Could have picked up a 1st down if he ran it. Greedy threw it incomplete. Sacrificed what would have likely been a score. Then threw it to Dominic DeLuca for about a 25-yard pick six. Then he threw it to Tony Roas for a 59-yard pick six. You know what? So 59 plus 25, that right there is 84 yards in total. Penn State's defense has 84 yards gained. Their offense has 74 yards gained. The offense has 0 points. The defense has 14. This could be a 0-0 game right now, with SMU being in it, even perhaps having the momentum, if not for those mistakes. Wow. Kickoff, and it's only 13 minutes and 9 seconds left in the second quarter. We're only a minute 51 seconds into the second quarter. This isn't even halftime yet. It's 14-0. And right now, this doesn't feel as dominant as Notre Dame, Indiana did in the first half, but that could change because we're only halfway through the first half right now, and Penn State's already up 14-0. This Tom Allen defense right here, they're responding very well after that game against Oregon, where I know that they were disappointed in that result. It is a rollout for Kevin Jennings. It is a pass complete for about a gain of 9, and that right there is to Brycen Smith for a gain of 9. So it will be 2nd and 1 from the SMU 34. Roddy Jones and Mark Jones calling this game on TNT. Yeah, I like them as announcers. Actually, that reminds me to unmute my TV. And a huge open hole for Brycen Smith. It's a gain of about 15 into Penn State territory right there. 15-16 yard run by Brycen Smith. So this SMU offense is responding a bit. No huddle. They're at the Penn State 49. They're outgaining Penn State's offense, by the way. Is an empty set right there. Kevin Jennings is going to try a QB draw, but that goes absolutely nowhere. Loss of 2 or 3 yards. Back in their own territory. It'll be 2nd and 13, 2nd and 12 for SMU. That was denied Dennis Sutton, number 33, and also Devon J. Thomas there on the TFL. 2nd and 11, they call it. Forward progress at the SMU 49. Will they run it? Yes, they will. And Brycen Smith picks up a gain of 2. So it'll be 3rd and 9 from the Penn State 48-yard line. Big 3rd down conversion here. The question, will you throw another pick 6, Kevin Jennings, or will you make the right decision and either throw it away to live on another down and potentially pin Penn State deep, or will you make a play to pick it up, or get in a position where it's, 4th and 4, 4th and 3, 4th and 2, where you're thinking about going for it. On 3rd down, Jennings is 1 of 2 for 5 yards and a pick 6. Penn State looks like they want to send pressure. Let's see if they actually do. It is kind of a stunt with Abdul Carter in a QB spy position, and it's an incomplete pass. So 4th and 9. I don't know who Kevin Jennings was throwing it to. Almost looked like he was throwing it in the dirt. Abdul Carter was sent as a QB spy right there. Really only a rush of 3 with Carter spying. And it's 4th and 9. So SMU will have to punt it back to Penn State. 81 likes. Let's get to 100. Let's get to 100 before halftime. And almost 400 concurrent viewers. Let's get to 1,000 by the end of the video. Punt by SMU. Let's see where it lands. Looks like a fair catch is going to be called at the 9. So Penn State will have it at their own 9. 91 yards to get a touchdown. And I would say you got to get right there at least 71 yards or 66 yards to get into probably comfortable field goal range. So 6 of 11, 54 yards, 2 picks for Kevin Jennings. SMU's offense only has 103 yards. The problem's been pick 6s and also the fact that Kevin Jennings only has 3 rushing yards. SMU's actually averaging 3.5 yards per carry. Penn State's only averaging 2.8. So SMU's offense has been the more productive unit so far, but they've also had more drives. Nicholas Singleton runs for about a gain of 3. It will be 2nd and 7 from the Penn State 13. Wow. The story of the game has been the linebacker core for Penn State. Tony Rose and Dominic DeLuca, both linebackers. And they have scored, making this game, in theory, a lot easier for the Penn State offense. But we'll see if Penn State's offense can create a score here, maybe make it a 3-score game. Tyler Warren is out wide. We know how elite of a player he is. It is not a run. It is a play-action RPO. Was meant to go to Tyler Warren, but an incomplete pass, so it will be 3rd and 8. SMU is a team that can survive for 4 quarters, though. They have the depth. They have the talent. I mean, this is a team that Indiana analytically is better, but SMU is a team that has more talent than Indiana does, and their roster is not made up as from as many transfers as Indiana. So they may actually be better suited for big games than, let's say, the Hoosiers are. SMU could be. And also having a mobile QB helps. But Kevin Jennings has been very inaccurate. Aller has not been much better. He just hasn't made the interceptions. That right there, I believe, is going to be 4th and 1 for Penn State from their own 19. Looks like they're going to want to go for it. Penn State is. 4th and 1, or are they going to say, it looks like they'll send out the punt unit. Which I think, honestly, based off how the game is going, is probably wise. You're up by 14 points. SMU has shown no ability, none, to score. 4th and 1. Are they punting, or did they just take... No, they're not punting. And they picked up the first down. They picked it up. I believe they picked it up. Did they pick it up? They're trying to uncover it. Oh, they're marking it short. They're marking it short. Looks like SMU may have picked up a stop. They're marking it short. It's SMU football. Wow. They stopped him. They marked him short. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it feels like he got it. Because all you needed was that yard, and it looked like he made it on his own, but I don't know. Maybe his knee was down. Kevin Jennings run to the right, and he picks up a gain of 6 or 7. Yeah, that was I don't know what that decision was, but now SMU is in a prime position to score here. Some confusion for Penn State. That is a run by L.J. Johnson for about a gain of 8 out to the Penn State 6. So 1st and goal for SMU. This is the first trip of any team inside of the 10 all day. They're going up-tempo, SMU is. It is going to be a handoff for about a loss of maybe 2 or 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and goal from the Penn State 8. Nice job by Abdul Carter, Denai Dennis Sutton, Devon J. Thomas, and Zane Duran of getting in there. Having that 4th and 1 given up and then only surrendering a field goal would be massive. Substitutions coming in. Tony Roa substitutes in for Penn State. Tight formation looks like for SMU. Is it going to be a run? No, it's tipped and picked off again by Dominic DeLuca. Tipped and picked in the air. The 3rd interception of the day for SMU, and they can't do anything. Holy mackerel. DeLuca tipped it up in the air. It was waving around, and he picked it off and returned it all the way out to the 25. And DeLuca's a backup. What a game he's having. And that has got to be frustrating for SMU. Your defense makes a huge stop on 4th and 1, and it doesn't matter. You give it right back, and in better field position than Penn State previously had, they're all the way out to their own 25. Wow. Wow. Holy cow. Kevin Jennings is compensating for James Franklin's poor decision-making. That's insane. Yeah, at some point you wonder if SMU's going to start mentally breaking. Because at that point, like, how do you recover? You've thrown 3 picks. Dominic DeLuca with his 2nd pick of the day. 1st and 10 for Penn State at their own 25. Holy cow. Guys, get us up to 200 likes before halftime. We have 431 concurrent viewers. And people are sticking around. Sticking around. So, please get us up to, bless me, 100 likes. That'd be awesome. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because we're going to be going live for Clemson, Texas, and Ohio State, Tennessee. And this coming week, as a Christmas gift to you all, we're going to be doing a giveaway, and not just to one person, but to multiple people we'll be doing a giveaway. Announcements will be in the next few days. So thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for hitting the notification bell. It's insane. SMU has had the first trip of any offense inside of the 10, the first trip of any offense, 2 of them inside the red zone. And they're outgaining Penn State 115-83 on the ground. They have more TOP, 2 more first downs, but 3 turnovers. Penn State is 0, and 2 of those turnovers were returned for pick sixes. It's just absolutely crazy. But we've known this about Kevin Jennings. Like against Duke, he had 6 total turnovers. And against a Penn State defense that's more talented than anything he's seen. I mean, take a look at take this for example. BYU and Clemson have good defenses. Penn State's defense makes BYU and Clemson's defense look like high school defenses. That's how much better Penn State's defense is than either of those. Penn State is much better than BYU and Clemson, especially at stopping the run. They're also better, in my opinion, in just in general, in all things defense. This is a defense for Penn State that is just... They're top 10 in scoring, only allow 16.4 points per game. They're top 10 in opponent points per play, only allowing 0.26. They're third in opponent red zone score attempts per game, and they've allowed 1, but they haven't allowed any points off of it either. Aller right now, down the field, tipped ball, almost picked off, incomplete pass, 2nd and 10. This SMU defense is doing a very good job in coverage. They're not doing a good job of getting pressure, but most people don't get pressure on Penn State. But it's because of their receivers, it's hard. Like it's hard for Penn State's offense to move against a good coverage defense because their receivers aren't good. They can't really stretch the field. And their offensive line is good, and their rushing attack is good, but it's not like, let's say, Notre Dame level. Singleton motions in beside Drew Aller. Wonder if it's going to be a run here. No, it will not. It will be another pass for Drew Aller. Throws it in the dirt, incomplete. So 3rd and 10. Penn State's offense isn't really doing much of anything, but Penn State's defense, again, they've scored 14 points, got 3 turnovers. We'll see what happens here for the Nittany Lions. But at least Penn State knows that their defense, like in a game against a top 15 team, because SMU is the 3rd best team they've played all season long, analytically via power ratings, and they've played in a conference championship game. They've played BYU out of conference, so they're more tested than some other teams. Looks like SMU wants to bring a blitz. They do. Aller is well protected though. And he throws it late, and it's caught by Harrison Wallace. And Harrison Wallace gets out to the 50-yard line. Threw it right at the line of scrimmage, but not past it. So there is no illegal play. Followed the rules. Extend the play as long as he could. It's 1st and 10 at the 50. There is some confusion. Looks like there's going to be a false start, though, or maybe, something of the like for Penn State. But 1st and 10, 15-yard pass to Harrison Wallace III. It's out to the Penn State 50, but there is a false start that occurred, so it'll be 1st and 15 from the Penn State 45, but still in a better position than where they were previously on 3rd and 10 from their own 25. Finally crossed the 100-yard mark. Aller is 8 of 15 for 83 yards. He's averaging about 10 yards per completion, just hasn't been completing a whole lot of his throws. He's been a little bit off kilter. Keep in mind, as the chat gets busier, it's going to be harder for me to keep up, so super chats take priority here. Play action for Aller has all day in the pocket, throws down the field, and man, just not being accurate today. Incomplete, and that was to number 5, Omari Evans for Penn State. The thing you got to like about Penn State and Drew Aller is even with their inaccuracies, they haven't turned it over, and a lot of his inaccurate throws have been close to turnovers. SMU 61 rushing yards, Penn State 25, so SMU is winning the rushing battle right now. What I've noticed about Kotelnicki in some of these games, these bigger games, is he sometimes goes a little bit pass happy. 2nd and 15, pass complete to Tyler Warren, breaks a tackle, gets out, gets out for about a gain of About a gain of 9. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the SMU 46. Did he step out there about 2 yards beforehand? No, maybe he did. I couldn't quite see it. Bad snap, but it's a QB draw for Aller, and he picks it up anyway. That was a bad snap, man, but he picked it up. QB draw. For about a gain of, 15? 14? Yeah, gain of 13 to the SMU 33 for a first down. So Penn State is driving. Got a necessary run right there. Keep them honest. This is an awesome stream, guys. Keep it up. 450 concurrent viewers, 120 likes. Let's get up to 1,000 concurrent viewers sometime in the fourth quarter. And 120 likes. It is a handoff to Kaytron Allen, but Kaytron Allen tries to jitterbug. I think he overthought it there and gets about a gain of maybe 1 or a gain of nothing. 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10 for Penn State at the SMU 32. If he just followed his blockers, I think he probably would have picked up a gain of 3 or 4. But there it is. 5:47 left in the second quarter. My guess at the halftime score based off of how this drive is going is probably going to be Penn State 17 or maybe 21, SMU nothing. I think Penn State will probably earn a shutout before halftime. All right. 2nd and 9. It is going to be a double reverse pass that he's going to throw, and it's going to be caught by number 2 for Penn State. And number 2 for Penn State, is that Julian Fleming? No, it's Liam Clifford out of the backfield. About a gain of 8 right there. That was a trick play. So he handed it off to Kaytron Allen, who handed it off to Liam Clifford, who then pitched it back to touchdown Penn State, who pitched it back to Aller, then threw it to Clifford for a gain of 8. But run by Kaytron Allen, powerful run, touchdown Penn State. It was a 25-yard run by Kaytron Allen right through the hole of that great offensive line and tight end core that's blocking for him, and it is 21-0 Penn State pending the extra point. 9 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes, 2 seconds drive time. You rest your defense, you go up by 3 scores. Your defense is owning. Your offense finally clicked against a defense that, let's face it, SMU's defense is top 20, top 15. It's not a bad defense. Extra point by Ryan Barker is good. It is Penn State 21, SMU 5 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Look at this right here. So they run away from their tight ends, but just wonderful blocking and great push. 71, 77, and 53. That right there, Sal Wormley, Nick Dawkins, and Oliva Vega Ione, the interior of that O-line, just shoved Jared Hudson, Harrison Hunte, and Anthony Booker Jr. all the way back, creating a massive hole there for Kaytron Allen to get through for a 25-yard touchdown run. And it doesn't look like we'll have a commercial break here. Wow. So Penn State will kick it off. It's actually strange. Good for TNT. They didn't put a commercial break right there like I was expecting. Good for them. Good for them. All right. Kickoff there. Ryan Barker does not kick it off, by the way. And that was not a kick out of bounds. Almost was, but wasn't. And Penn... James Franklin's talking about how the weather's been a factor. They're just showing that. That's why I wasn't talking, I was just listening. 1st and 10 from their own 25. It's do or die time for SMU now. You're behind by 3 scores. Got to get 3 touchdowns. It is going to be a weird play action. There is a broken tackle there for SMU, and they pick up a gain of 8. That being Moochie Dixon, their wide receiver Z, picks up a gain of 8 on what was kind of a weird RPO screen pass that kind of looked a little awkward. They're going up tempo, SMU is. It is going to be a read option, and he may have fumbled it. I thought he was down, but they'll review it. Tony Roas recovers the fumble. I think they're going to review this one. They rule it a turnover. They'll review it because he may have been down, but they'll review it. It looks like Kevin Jennings, he picked up the first down, but it looks like he may have fumbled. Let's see. Yeah, he's down. He's down. It'll be a first down. I thought he was down. Yeah, it's just going to take like a few seconds for them to review. Good for Jennings there, holding on to that football despite the big hit by Penn State. He kept it. He just, lost control of it a few seconds after he was down, or maybe like a second. So he's down right there. No fumble. If he fumbled right there, everything would begin to snowball immediately. Current statistics in this game: Penn State 163 total yards, 8 first downs, 13 minutes, 22 seconds of possession. SMU 130 total yards, 3 turnovers, 8 first downs, 12 minutes and 8 seconds of possession. 4:30 left in this game. SMU has the ball, first and 10 at their own 39, thanks to a Kevin Jennings 6-yard run on the read option. I've been very impressed by Penn State's defensive line and linebacker core. Their defensive front has been awesome in this game. It's been owning SMU's offense in every which way. Penn State fans are booing the ruling, but it is the correct call. First down SMU, good by the refs there. All right. So first and 10, let's see if SMU can respond, because you're down 21-0. Penn State's crowd is in it, and they'll still be in it even if SMU scores here, because they're up big, and this will be their biggest win since probably 2016 over OSU, if they're able to get it. And Kevin Jennings throws it to Matthew Hibner, who's well covered, just throws it at him to throw it away, really incomplete. It's 2nd and 10. In coverage on Matthew Hibner was Tony Roas, who had that pick six, that 59-yard pick six earlier in the game. Jennings is in there with Brashard Smith. That crowd is loud, and it is a whiteout. Everyone dressed in white. He's out there, empty backfield. Matthew Hibner is in the game, though, at tight end, and Jennings, with his mobility, is going to try and escape, maybe throw it away. That's what he does. 3rd and 10. Jennings is just, when he throws the ball, there's just something not right with his throws. He's just not, he's not throwing it right. The accuracy is not there. The spiral doesn't look good. The ball doesn't look good. He's not with it today. SMU 1 of 5 on 3rd down so far. Average yards to go is 6.6. 15 seconds on the play clock. 4 minutes, 9 seconds left in the first half. 10, 9, 8, 7. They'll snap it. They do. Empty backfield. Penn State does bring a blitz. They almost get to him, and then it's thrown and it's caught, but short of the first down. Looks like SMU, will they go for it? Yup, Jordan Hudson, 7-yard reception. Looks like they'll go for it. 4th and 3. I mean, if you want to try and win, got to get something going, because I think Penn State's offense is beginning to heat up now after that last drive. They finally got in the end zone. They're confident. You need to get points off of this. Need to cut into the lead. 4th and 3 from their own 46. Jennings is in his own backfield. They do go for it, and he's going to be sacked. back at his own 38, and that is deny Dennis Sutton. So SMU will turn it over. Penn State in positive plus territory with 3:17 left in the game, and it looks like Jennings might be hurt. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like he's limping a bit off the field. Penn State's just dominating this game, even more than I thought. I mean, I picked them to cover and win by 17, and so kind of picked them to dominate, but not this early. This is impressive. An impressive showing by Penn State. Really, really good showing here. This game's over if Penn State scores a touchdown here. And by over, I mean over. I don't mean it should be over. I mean, it's over to the point where they're not choking this thing away if they get a TD here. Aller is back there alone, under pressure. Looks like there might be a flag. No, that wasn't a flag. I think that was a towel, let's say. Singleton picks up a gain of 7 on a pass. It'll be 2nd and 3 from the SMU 31. You had a wide open guy, too, on that play. Wide open. Number 13 was. But he didn't read it. He didn't see it. And that really shows with how Penn State this year has struggled in pass defense. Their pass defense has been off kilter against better teams, and SMU has one of the better pass offenses that Penn State's played all season long. Aller, not Aller, but Singleton had a big run. Penn State's going tempo, though. They throw it, and it's apparently caught by Amari Evans for a gain of 8. They might want to look at that one. That'd be 2nd and 2 from the... Nope, they rule it incomplete. Let's see. Yeah, that was an incomplete pass. It's going to be 2nd and 10 from the SMU 23 for the Nittany Lions. They're in field goal range, though. They are in field goal range. So, you know. Yeah, it's under review. But it's going to be ruled an incomplete. Penn State now with a 98.3% chance to win according to ESPN's FPI. 2 pick sixes, 2 missed 4th downs, 1 in your own territory. It's been a snowball effect for Penn State. Snowball effect. It's been a snowball effect for Penn State, that's for sure. Yeah, that's an incomplete pass. You see, he almost catches it, but I think it then hits the ground. Yeah, it moves as it hits the ground. That's incomplete. Nice attempt by Harrison Wallace, but it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass. 2:14 left in the game. 2-minute warnings coming up very soon. Penn State is in a position to at least kick a field goal to go up 24 points. Might go up 28 points. We'll see. Alrighty. So, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the SMU 23. Let's see what Andy Koldnicki has cooking up for this offense. Likely going to be the last play before the 2-minute warning. Barring an incomplete pass, or maybe some like a first down's picked up and then some like no-huddle tempo stuff. We'll see. It is going to be a handoff to Nicholas Singleton for about a gain of 3. So it'll be 3rd and 7, pardon me, from the SMU 20. And that will be the 2-minute warning. So, 2-minute warning. They're going to take a commercial break. So are we. We will be right back here, folks. I'll be answering questions in the chat. The chat is busy, so please send some supers if you can. That way, your questions can have priority answering. So, see you soon. If you have YouTube Premium, again, which some of you do, well, these ads don't do anything. But man, we've been having in the 300s concurrent viewership, occasionally breaking 400, and we have 131 likes. Very, very incredible. So, Just as a quick reminder to everyone, I make sure to hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when we go live for Clemson versus Texas, Tennessee versus Ohio State later today, and also for our live show tomorrow at noon, where we'll be reacting to these first-round college football playoff games, talking about some games more than others, but, of course, talking about all of these games and the teams that were involved, the performances that were involved here. And also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share our channel around so we can get more subscribers, so that we can grow our community, the best Big Ten football community on YouTube, but we want to become the best college football community on YouTube. We want more SMU fans, not just more Penn State fans. And we want to talk within reason about as much of college football as we can and the storylines of the nation's best sport. So thank you very much. Let's try and get this up right now with the viewership we have to 200 likes right now. Help us get to 200 likes. That would be very awesome. And this stream has already been so great. So thank you. You guys really are a blessing. So it's been so engaging, the chat has. And also because I got to the game a little bit later that I didn't do much first quarter takeaways. But what I will write down is that both offenses were awkward. Kevin Jennings' accuracy is terrible. That's just a fact. That's not even exaggeration. Oh, super chat. Let me answer that before I finish taking notes. Over-under on Igmanos and PI calls. Well, Dante Thornton is a really good speed wide receiver, and Tennessee has some good wide receivers, so I would say the over-under should be set at 1.5. That's an over-under that should be set. 1.5 is what I'm kind of thinking, because I think Tennessee will try and throw it deep to the boundary as well. Tennessee likes to go boundary on their formations. They like to go wide, so that's going to be more so targeting the corners one-on-one. I guarantee you over-under of 1.5. And I would go, I don't know if I'd go over-under. But that's what Vegas does. Vegas sets over-unders to where you'll get both action on both sides. I think 1.5 is a perfect over-under to get action on both sides. Aller's going to try and scramble out. Did he pick up the first down right there? They're going to say he does. Maybe he stepped out. So, thank you very much for that $2 super chat, SFS Inverted. I appreciate that. But we're back here. We're back. They're going to review this. They're going to review that. He may have stepped out, but I think they're going to want to review this. First and goal from the SMU 7, if the ruling stands that he did not step out and picked up the first down. Yeah, they're going to review this. Now, if you're Franklin here, you're up 21-0. You probably want to kick a field goal. You're in range, and that way, let's see. Yeah, I don't think he stepped out. He stepped out at the 9, I believe. But I don't think he stepped out of bounds on the sidelines. Yup, at the 9. He stepped out at the 9. But it's still a first down. So, at the end of the day, Penn State gets what it wants. An opportunity to make this 28-0 4-score game. Aller ran 11 yards from the SMU 20 on 3rd and 7. So now we'll see what happens here with this offense. First and goal from the 9 for Penn State. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, tight formation. They hand it off to Nicholas Singleton, and Singleton gets about a gain of 8. Will be down at the Penn State 1. This point, what you do is you run that play clock all the way down under 5, make sure that SMU only has about a minute to get the ball back and score, and you make it 28-0. That's what you do if you're Penn State. 1:20 left in the first half, 15 seconds overall. They're running down that clock. They're huddling. What Penn State will do is they'll run it all the way down and take a timeout. And SMU's not taking any of their timeouts. Yup, 1:06 left. Franklin calls a timeout. Going to rally his guys together, rally the troops. Probably punch it in, make it 28-0 at the half. My halftime projected score was 17 or 21-0. It might be 28-0 for Penn State. This is just, it's a blowout. It is. And now Penn State's offense, 200 total yards, 10 first downs. They got 15 minutes, 33 seconds of possession. So they're going to win the yardage battle, win the TOP battle. They've already won the turnover battle, and they may win the first down battle. And they're beginning to run well. They have 94 rushing yards, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Penn State through the air is only averaging 5.3 yards per pass attempt. So Penn State's rushing offense is beginning to hit its stride. Aller is doing, he's having a similar game to Riley Leonard last night for Notre Dame. He's doing just enough to have success. It is going to be a handoff, and that's a touchdown. Nicholas Singleton with a 1-yard rushing touchdown. And for Singleton, that is, what is that, his 7th of the year? No, that's his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. And overall, that is his 13th total touchdown of the year because he's had 5 touchdowns through the air. 7 plays, 38 yards, 2 minutes, 7 seconds of possession. That's what you want after that 4th down stop by the defense. So 28-0 pending the extra point. And yeah, this is an even worse quality game than Notre Dame over Indiana. It's not as boring because of the pick sixes and the offenses are doing a better job of moving the football collectively, but the point total, 28-0, game's already over. At least last night it was 17-3 at the half. So I wonder if I'm hoping that one of Texas Clemson or Ohio State Tennessee is like a tightrope game in the first half. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. So halftime's coming up. We're going to take a break, like an ad break at the beginning and end of half. But for all of halftime, all I'm going to be doing is just finishing up on some notes from the second quarter. And then we'll be answering questions here on College Football with Sam. So please stick around during half. I'm not hungry right now. And what I'll probably do is try and eat after the game is finished, before Texas Clemson. So, yeah. But we still have 1 minute, 3 seconds here left in the second quarter. But wow, I mean, this is like, this performance for Penn State is their most dominant of the year relative to an opponent. A huge part of it, of course, is the pick sixes. But the defense has had its best game, maybe, of the entire season. And the offense is doing its job, at the bare minimum. Okay, so 1 minute, 3 seconds left. Penn State received, so SMU gets it out of halftime, but I wonder if they want to try and score right here so that this game just isn't, like, over. They're going to run it, be a little bit conservative. Brashard Smith picks up about a gain of 2. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from their own 27. Yeah, I imagine they're just going to want to get into halftime down 28-0, stop the bleeding. But no, they're going no huddle here. 44 seconds left. Jennings is back to pass, and he is going to throw it, and it is going to be caught, and the clock will stop to move the chains. About a gain of 9 there, and that was Jordan Hudson, backup wide receiver Z. 35 seconds left. Clock is down. Jennings back to pass, is getting pressured, and will be sacked. And that right there, Deni Dennis Sutton, number 33, with a sack. And I think SMU, yep, they just took their final timeout. They want to score. I think they ran the ball because they got some good looks where Penn State got interior pressure but missed tackles, and then consequentially Johnson and Smith got gains, but it just didn't work that time. This was kind of a gamble that didn't pay off. That's why they were running, I believe. Viewership is going down predictably because the game's, kind of very much out of reach. Yeah, no pizza during halftime. Yep, not like last night because I'm not starving. I can get through this entire game without eating. May not be the case for Texas Clemson. But I'm going to try and make it that way. All right, guys, we're at 146 likes. Let's get up to 200 likes before halftime. Jennings back to pass. Abdul Carter in pursuit, and he nearly threw another pick to Dominic DeLuca. Just a little bit too low, though. It is 3rd and 21. With 23 seconds remaining, and Penn State does have 2 timeouts. Under pressure, Abdul Carter's lining up in wide tech because he's consistently on 54 Savion Byrd, left tackle for SMU, and he's just lining up wide because he has more speed and athleticism than he does. Like, every time he just basically goes around him without much contact these past few plays. Again, lining up there on Byrd in wide. And it is a play action where he's going to lob it in the air and it's incomplete. So Penn State holds, and Jennings is having a hard time getting up. 4th and 21, 17 seconds left. About to hit halftime. Penn State at this point has a 99.5% chance to win this game, and it's halftime. It's crazy. Game's basically over. We'll still call it, though. Yeah, Carter is spying a lot, and that's helping contain Jennings. Good move by Tom Allen there. They will punt. SMU will. Good punt will be returned, though, and this is by number 7 for Penn State. There's 8 seconds left, so probably enough for 2 plays. 1st and 10 past their own 40. Yeah, this game's ugly. It's absolutely ugly. Ugly performance. We'll try and answer as many questions as we can during halftime, but I imagine since I won't be calling games, a lot of you will probably have a lot of questions. So Super Chats, again, just as a reminder, they get priority, but I'll be talking. I'll be, answering things and just talking around. So 1st and 10. At their own 42, 8 seconds left in the half. What's Penn State going to do? Aller is back to throw. He's going to lob it to Katron Allen. Katron Allen is going to get down, and that's going to be it. 28-0 at the half. Out to the SMU 42, just kind of stat padding there a little bit. Stats at the halftime. Penn State 28, SMU nothing. Penn State 216 total yards, 11 first downs. SMU 129 yards, 3 turnovers, 9 first downs. Penn State 15 minutes and 44 seconds of possession. Okay, I am going to quickly go to the bathroom, and we reach 150 likes, so thank you guys very much. I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom and drink some water, and I will be right back after this ad break. Okie dokie. We're back. We're back. We're down to 260 concurrent viewers. Makes sense because it's halftime. I wonder if we'll get up to 400 again, though, because, again, the game's over. So interest is obviously going to go, phew. Let me tell you guys something, and then I'll take some of my notes, and then we'll talk. So Penn State at the half, they led 28-0 in this game. The only games where Penn State had a similar margin of lead at the half were Washington, who finished 6-6. It was 28-0 at the half. Purdue at the half was not even this bad. It looked worse. The eye test, the Purdue game was more dominant, but the scoreboard wasn't. It was only 21-3 Penn State at the half. And then there was Maryland, Penn State at the half, which was 31 Penn State, Maryland 7. Again, SMU's better than Maryland. They're better than Purdue. They'd probably blow both of those teams out. And they're better than Washington, though I don't think they'd blow Washington out because Washington plays anyone who isn't a great team fairly close. But point being, Penn State is owning these guys, owning them. And there were some people who picked, I picked Indiana as my upset pick over Notre Dame. That was bad. And yes, that noise, while unprofessional, was deserved because it was a pick that flopped. Some people picked SMU to upset Penn State, and I just didn't see it. I didn't. And then the reasons really of, I would say, Penn State's defensive front against an offensive line that is good but isn't perfect, and the fact that SMU's defense is good but not elite, those are the reasons why. Penn State's just... I should have picked Notre Dame for the same reasons that I picked Penn State, because Penn State and Notre Dame were both more talented than both of their opponents and better on both sides of the ball. And even I admitted that Notre Dame was better on offense than Indiana was before the game. So it's just fascinating to see how Penn State's owning SMU score-wise harder than they have anyone this year except for Washington at the half. And they're going to score more points. I don't think they'll wind it down. I don't think they'll blow. I don't think they'll try and run up the score, but it's not the fourth quarter yet. So they might score another touchdown, kick some field goals. I don't know, but just dominant performance from Penn State here so far. Dominant performance. So let me see what questions you all have in the chat. Okay. Let me see what all of you have here. I'm pulling for Penn State to beat UGA if they play in the national semifinal. It's possible. Don't know if it'll happen, but it's possible. I hope my Philadelphia Eagles draft Warren Bob Whitebread. That would be a great pick. Elite pick by the Eagles. It's super, super, super over now. Yeah. Wolvergeek, nice to see you on here. This is getting very ugly. Yes, it's getting very, very ugly. Punch it in, PSU, make it 35-0 before the half. Let me see. This game is so over. Sam, we going to see Grunkmeyer, not Grunker, but Grunkmeyer in the second half? I heard that Franklin said he wasn't medically cleared to play in a game. Just medically cleared to play in practice. So I don't know if we'll see him. You may just see a bunch of handoffs or maybe Tyler Warren at like Wild. But then again, you don't want Tyler Warren to be out there a lot. So I don't know what Penn State will do. I don't know what Penn State will do. We'll just have to see. Who's the best running back Penn State has ever had? That's a difficult one. Maybe Larry Johnson Jr. or Saquon Barkley, but that may not be going back far enough. I know that one of their running backs, I think, may have won the Heisman. I forget. I whacked a wave of bots. Thank you, Armand Hammer. ACC and Big 12 shouldn't be a conference. You know what they should do, which would be better? They should merge. That's what they should do. In all seriousness, they should merge. If the ACC is going to fall apart, some of the better ACC schools can maybe go to the SEC and Big Ten, and then you have the rest of the ACC and Big 12 merge. And that'll overall upgrade the talent pool of the Big 12, and the Big 12 will just kind of be like the the tier 2 to the SEC and Big Ten's tier 1, and then the G5's the tier 3. Honestly, don't know how anyone thought SMU had a chance, Sam. It was understandable from the standpoint that SMU's strong in the trenches, and they've shown that in this game, but they just got behind so early, and at some point when you're making this many mistakes, you're just going to break, and I think right now SMU is as broken. Don't you think they need to protect Al or just hand off the rest of the game? That's kind of what I'm thinking. But what they should probably do is just run another series of their offense or so to put the game like more away, and then you sub in the backups. John Capoletti won the Heisman for Penn State in 1973. Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, so we have some concurrent viewers on here, which is great. Make sure, again, we just hit 21,200 subs. We've gained a lot of subs already. Let's try and get to 21,300 by the end of the stream if possible. So please, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit the notification bell. I'm going to take some more notes from the second quarter, and then if you guys have any questions, please send them in. I haven't seen a lot of questions in the chat so far, so whether they're just questions, whether you want to send in supers to push your name up to the top of the list, whatever you want to do, please do that. I will be more than happy to answer. But what domination by the Nittany Lions here. Absolute dominance. Yeah, Kevin Jennings has just had a rough game. Rough game. It's 28-0 at the half. And this is why I think Penn State's one of the best teams in the country. Like, this game is the epitome of the fact that if they had a better coaching staff, and that's mostly Franklin, I think this would be the best team in college football. Straight up. Now, again, it's SMU, and they've given up 3 turnovers, so that kind of inflates things. This score might be an outlier, but even in plus territory, they made a mistake, and Penn State was owning the line of scrimmage. So I think the reality of this game was that Penn State was probably going to be covering no matter what. Yeah. I put SMU NA for impressive players in the second half. Like, with outside of their D line, they didn't do anything in the second half. It's really, really ridiculous if we're being honest. This game. Wow. Someone is just spamming start Preston. Start. They don't want to start him because he's going in the portal. 1-24 against AP top 5 teams. Yeah, exactly. JRM0979. Exactly. Because of Franklin, this team is not the best in the country. It's one of the best, but Franklin's the constant that's holding them back. Let me see. Sam, Georgia would maul Penn State. I don't think they'd maul Penn State, but I would be hard-pressed to pick Penn State. I think Penn State's better than Notre Dame, though. I do think they're better than Notre Dame. But are they better than Georgia? I think roster-wise they are, but ultimately it's not by enough to where it's going to be like a Notre Dame-Indiana game where your roster is just going to dominate the other team. Like, Penn State's roster won't dominate Georgia. I think it's slightly better in part because it's healthier, but coaching is heavily on the side of Georgia because Kirby Smart's way better than Franklin. So it'll be interesting. Boise State has 3 offensive linemen getting drafted. JRM0979, I think it's a talent issue at wide receiver, but where else is Penn State lacking in talent? They have a tight end that's the closest to Brock Bowers you're going to get. I don't think he's as good as Brock Bowers in the receiving game. Versatility-wise, maybe he is, if not better, because the Wildcat QB thing. But they have an elite tight end, a great stable of running backs, better running backs than anything Georgia has, for example. Drew Aller is viewed by many as next year a potential first-round QB. Their O-line is awesome. They have Abdul Carter and NFL D linemen. Their linebacker core is good. Secondary with A.J. Harris is pretty good. Interior D-line is not Michigan caliber. It's not Michigan caliber, but whose interior D-line is definitively better than Penn State's? Like, definitively better. I don't know. I'd maybe lean Texas and Georgia, but not by a mile. But I agree with you on the secondary. Secondary's been a problem, in part because of injuries, but also Jalen Kimber. Just based off of how you're talking about the SEC, I'd imagine Jalen Kimber's been a liability for much of his career. They have injuries at safety. And Penn State's aggressive on defense at times, and sometimes that, is just not a good thing. Not a good thing one bit. So, I can't wait for Notre Dame, Georgia. That's going to be so good. Oregon boat raced Penn State's defense and showed me the issues. They boat raced them more so through the air, though. On the ground, they did something, but they weren't owning them on the ground. Penn State overall beat Oregon in the trenches. Oregon just beat them harder through the air, which is kind of how those two teams are built, and Oregon's also better coached, made less penalties and brain-dead decisions. So 28-0 at half. Guys, ask questions. Emmett Sunderman. Start Preston Stone. I don't care. Jennings is playing rough. Yeah. Jennings, 9 of 19, 77 yards, 3 interceptions. Guess what his rushing total is? 6 carries for -3 yards because Penn State has 2 sacks. It's just, it's beyond insane. At this point, there aren't going to be many more notes to take, but I'll still take them. Maybe because there are backups that are showed for the Nittany Lions that we could see next year. Matt Rule would spank this No, SMU would beat Nebraska. Nebraska might be better than their record shows because the Big Ten SEC are tougher than all the other conferences, but I mean they're not in the same stratosphere as Penn State is. I think it's pretty clear right now Penn State's better than Indiana. Same with Ohio State and Oregon, and Indiana smoked Nebraska, and if they rematched, Indiana would handily beat Nebraska still. So I don't think Matt Rule would torch this SMU team at all. Thank you, SFS Nerd, for getting the bots. I appreciate that a lot. Can you see a scenario where Ashton GT is over 200 rushing yards, but Boise still loses to Penn State? Yes, I can, because Oregon did that. They had almost 200 rushing yards, and they only won by 8, and they have one of the best passing attacks in the nation. Meanwhile, Boise State's passing attack is not nearly as good. And yes, Oregon still had 200 rushing yards. I get that. Like, Penn State's rushing defense is not the nation's best. But Oregon's rushing attack is far better than anything Texas and Georgia have. It's a better rushing attack than Ohio State has right now. It's better than what SMU has. It's better. The only rushing offense that's better than Oregon right now in the playoffs is Tennessee, and half of that battle is because they just run the ball a whole lot. So I don't know how they do against Penn State yards per carry wise. And then Notre Dame and Boise State because of Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame's elite O-line, and Ashton Jeanty, and also a solid Boise State offensive line. And also potentially Arizona State as well. Probably. And then let me think of anyone else. Yeah, that's probably it right there. And out of all those teams, with the exception of Oregon and maybe Notre Dame, Penn State has a talent advantage or has a more balanced offense than those. So I personally think it's Franklin, but I understand what you're saying about the talent issue. Penn State's roster is not great everywhere, so I understand what you're saying there. Agree to disagree. Yeah, guys, be asking questions. Okay, do you think Colorado should have made the playoff? Chase DeMonier, I think is how you say that name. No. They lost 3 games. I don't think they should be in the playoff when you lose 3 games. Especially in the Big 12. Like, you're losing 3 games in the Big 12. You got owned by Kansas. You were, owned by Kansas, owned by Nebraska, lost a close one to Kansas State. No opponent they beat was particularly strong or extremely impressive. They're a good team, but great team? No, I mean, let's pull up Colorado here. I mean, if they beat BYU, that's the best win they've had all season long. The best team they beat was, in the regular season, Baylor. And that was in overtime, and they needed a Hail Mary to win. That was the best team they beat. Utah finished with a losing record. Texas Tech finished... did they finish 8-4? No, they finished 8-4 on the year. Texas Tech actually was probably their best win because it was on the road. They kind of dominated that game. But that 16-point loss to Kansas and the 18-point loss to Nebraska that was also 28-0 at the half, much like this game, and felt a lot like this current playoff game, I think keeps them out of that deserving playoff conversation. Larry IZPR0, thank you for the $5 super chat. Look for the Penn State run game to come to form. Not ideal conditions to throw or kick. I don't fault Aller. It's windy, 20-plus miles per hour. That may also explain some of the Jennings throws, but the tipped interception and then the other play where he threw it right to his guy, I think Jennings is just having a bad game overall. Thank you. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. Yeah, we are Penn State. Looks like Tyler Warren is resting up on the sidelines. Thank you again. Franklin shouldn't get credit for this win, LOL. I mean, he should, as a coach, should get credit for all the wins, but this isn't, again, SMU's not even a top 10 team in terms of seeding. This won't be counted as a top 10 win for Franklin. So this win doesn't change anything for Franklin. What will change is what he does in the semifinal if he gets past Boise State. So yeah, this is the start to the third quarter. Kickoff. We didn't do our commercial break at the end of halftime because I was so in touch with the chats here. So what we'll do is we'll just do a commercial break at the first media timeout here. Brashard Smith with a kickoff return, and he gets out to the SMU 47-yard line. So good field position for SMU to start off the game. If they're going to make a comeback here, if they are, they're going to have to start quickly because they're down 28-0 to Penn State, who scored 14 points defensively, 14 points offensively. We'll see who they bring out at quarterback. I expect it's still going to be Kevin Jennings. Yes, it is. I mean, if you're Preston Stone, this is the reason why you're going to Northwestern, because you should be starting right now. It is going to be a pass, dump off, incomplete to Matthew Hibner. It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 47. Jennings got pressure in his face. All right. It is going to be a pitch, and wow, Johnson is just not fast enough. Tackled for a 2-yard loss back to the 45, and that right there was Tony Roas, who's having a good game. TFL, pick 6, 3rd and 12 now, and SMU's off schedule. I think LJ Johnson kind of overthought that, and he does not have the speed or ability that Brashard Smith does. So 3rd and 12, Jennings is going to try and pass. There is going to be a holding penalty called, even though he completed the pass to Hibner down to the Penn State 35, but I guarantee you that's coming back due to a hold. Wouldn't be shocked if it was on Abdul Carter either. And the SMU players just look gassed. They look gassed, man. They look tired, disinterested. Up, hands to the face on the defense. Not a holding penalty. So, it's going to be first down. And that right there was on 16. And yeah, that was hands to the face. It was on 16 for Penn State. 16 being... No, 15. That was on Amin Vanover. Second string defensive end backing up to Dennis Sutton. So that's a personal foul, so it's added to the end of the play. So it'll be first and 10 at the 25 for SMU with 14:06 left in the game. It'll actually be at the 20. First and 10 at the 20. So SMU in the red zone due to that penalty. It is going to be a handoff to Brycen Smith. Nice fake there. Got out to about the 12 of Penn State, gain of 8 on the ground. A little bit of a fake there. Nice play design. And Brycen Smith goes down to the 5, gain of 7, so it'll be first and goal at the 5. SMU looks like they're in a prime position to score here and score pretty quickly. First and goal at the 5. And it is Brycen Smith for about a gain of 1. Second and goal from the Penn State 4. It's go for it time, by the way, if you're SMU. It's go for it. So you got 3 more plays. Oh, that should have been a personal foul right there. Bird was he literally punched Abdul Carter on the ground. A little bit of frustration there because Abdul Carter's beating him over and over again. Second and goal, 12:30 left in the game, 6 on the play clock. LJ Johnson is in. 2 seconds on the play clock. And it is going to be a delay of game. That Penn State crowd is causing confusion. They call it a false start. So a 5-yard penalty all the way back to the Penn State 9. It'll be second and goal there. That's a huge mistake by SMU. And this crowd's still loud. I mean, they want it to be a blowout. Again, this will be their biggest win at home since probably 2016. Kevin Jennings is back there. Tight formation. Looks like he wanted it to be a screen. Instead, it's a good pass rush. Gets about a 3-yard gain. Third and goal from the 6. Could have been a TFL, but again with Penn State, they're very talented. It's Penn State's weakness relate back to their CEO. Their fundamentals are not perfect. Number 13 for Penn State almost got their Tony Roas off the blitz. So Jennings is getting hit. Third and goal from the Penn State 6. Let's see what happens here. Looks like Penn State wants to bring pressure. Wouldn't be shocked if some of those guys dropped back, though. And false start again. Another false start on SMU. They'll be backed up to their own 11. Looks like it's going to be on Ja'Kai Clark, their center. Like the entire line delayed. Yup, false start. Critical penalty again on Ja'Kai Clark, their outstanding center. Third and goal from their own 11, backing them up. You got 2 plays here to get into the end zone. 2 plays. And they do send out an all-out blitz, and there is pressure. Jennings, and he throws it incomplete, out of bounds. So it'll be 4th and goal from the 11. Penn State with another third down stop here. SMU is 2 of 9 on third downs, 0 of 2 on fourth downs. Insane third and fourth down success rate by Penn State in this game. And with it being from the 11, I think you got to go for it. You have to. Unless at this point you just want to avoid the shutout and put up a cosmetic point. But they're going to go for it. Nope, they're going to attempt a field goal. Oddly enough, accepting defeat here, and it's good. So 28-3, Penn State leads with 10:59 left in the game. It's basically a concession of defeat there, as it's still a 4-score game, wasting about 4 minutes and a second to be exact of the clock. All right, a little bit of a commercial break. We'll be right back. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And we got 161 likes. Let's try and get that up to 200 before the stream ends. I know that it's not an exciting game, so of course interest is far from its peak. Let's see what y'all have to say in the chat, though. And also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I go live for the remaining 2 first-round games here today, and also when we do our live show in reaction to this game and other games, Sunday at noon. Okay, let's get to the chat here. They're kicking it, says Ramen Power. Exactly. Do you bench Jennings to start if you're SMU? I don't know. I mean, at this point, Preston Stone, they're not going to put Preston Stone in, and I'll tell you why. Because it's giving reps to someone who won't be on the team next year. You only put in Preston Stone if Jennings gets hurt and you're still in the game. Or if he's having a bad game but you're still in it. That's when you put in Preston Stone. They're not going to put him in for the rest of the game because Jennings, their QB, I believe, has eligibility. Yeah, he definitely has eligibility. He's a sophomore. He's there for the long term. He's just having a bad game here because this is the best defense he's played all season long. So, yeah. I don't think they can bench him. Unless they bench him for maybe their third-string QB, Keldrick Luster. If you want to get him some playing time, and I don't know how Rhett Lashley and the staff want to do that. I'm not a coach. I'm just an analyst, really. That's all I am. Curious to see what Penn State does on offense coming out of the third quarter, but that field goal there basically concedes defeat for SMU. This game will be over probably 3:30. I'll get food and then be able to go live at like 3:55 for Texas v. Clemson. Wow. 28-3. It is going to be a trick onside kick, and Penn State recovers it. Good special teams play by the Nittany Lions. SMU did a trick onside kick that was unexpected, but they recovered it. Penn State did. And I don't know who number 12 is on Penn State. I think Anthony Ivy, special teams wide receiver, but good for him. Yeah, good catch by Anthony Ivy. He jumping into contact, being willing to take a hit to try and give your team a possession. So 1st and 10 in SMU territory for Penn State. They are at the SMU 48, I believe. Yes, the SMU 48. Aller is in there with, I believe, Nicholas Singleton. Warren motions over to the left, short side of the field. It is going to be a handoff, and Nicholas Singleton is not gone, but he has an 18-yard gain, maybe a 19-yard gain down to the 30 or 29 of SMU. Good run by Nicholas Singleton. And Aller goes up tempo, and he's going to take a sack. He'll be back at the SMU 39. Harrison Hunte, the defensive tackle, with the sack for SMU 81. Jared Harrison Hunte. So 2nd and 19, Booker Jr., Anthony Booker Jr., the nose tackle, their best defensive tackle, looks like he's done for the day. So you take a sack there. Wonder if, at this point, Penn State, you're just looking to waste time, get some points to keep this a respectable lead. About 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Singleton is in there still. Warren is lining up as a receiver. Aller back to pass. Under duress, he's going to be sacked again. That's Jafari Harvey, the ban, but there is a flag. Wonder if it's a hold. Unnecessary roughness on SMU, personal foul. That's going to give Penn State a first down. Can't have that. And that was on 81, Jared Harrison Hunte. Let's see what he did here. Oh, yeah. Yup, he punched Sal Wormley, the right guard, in the face. Didn't really punch, more of a shove. Punch, he may have just gotten thrown out. But, yeah, shoved him. So 1st and 10 for Penn State. That's a 15-yard penalty. They're at the 29, back where Singleton originally got him on the run. It looks like Aller may line up in the Wildcat, and that's exactly what he does, but he throws it to Singleton. It's incomplete. Kind of a little trick RPO play right there. Incomplete pass. I just don't know if Singleton was expecting it. A little bit of a miscommunication there. 2nd and 10 from the 29 for the Nittany Lions. Yeah, it's exactly what it was. They were run blocking. It was an RPO. Singleton just wasn't expecting it. Second and 10 from the 29. Aller's back at QB. Warren is lined up as a tight end. They're going to hand it off, and Singleton gets about a half yard. So it'll be like 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 from the 28.5-yard line of SMU. Penn State just being conservative, wearing down some clock. They're in field goal range. Probably want to get a touchdown, of course, because everyone wants to get a touchdown, but we'll see what happens here. Aller will be out empty in the shotgun. 5 wide. Tight end comes back. SMU does bring a blitz. It is going to be a screen to Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren gets about a gain of 6, though, down to the SMU 23. So better range for a field goal, or are you going to go for it? Doesn't really make that much of a difference because it's still a 4-score game either way. There's a little nice screen pass. They're going to kick a field goal? Yep, they're going to kick a field goal on 4th and 4. 40-yard attempt for Ryan Barker. 12 of 15 on the year, long of 49 yards. And this field goal is good. Made it. So Penn State 31, SMU 3. With 8:13 left in the third. SMU gets a field goal. Penn State responds. Margin right now is still 28 points. 31-3 midway through the third quarter. And the chat crashed, by the way. So, yep, but we're on a commercial break right now, so that's A-okay when that stuff happens. So yeah, it's just yet again dominance. Dominance by Penn State, leading 31-3. Just crazy. That's all I'll say about that. What's going on? It is a blowout in Happy Valley. It is a carpet bombing in Happy Valley. Unbelievable for SMU. Again, my score prediction was 34-17. And maybe that'll play out exactly if SMU gets some garbage time scores and Penn State kicks another field goal. But this didn't play out quite in the way that I thought it was going to. A lot more dominant on the side of Penn State, obviously. Let's see what else you guys have to say in this chat, though. This is high school team playing the Jets. I will never understand players who punch face masks. Like, buddy, you're only hurting yourself. Going for gold_85. Yeah, I think that maybe he kind of thought that because his offensive tackle did it to Abdul Carter and didn't get penalized, he could get away with it. But, yeah, I don't understand it either. This is that episode of South Park where the Pee Wee hockey team plays the Red Wings. That's funny. That's funny. So, what do you guys think of Texas-Clemson, the next game? Who do you think wins and why? Do you think there's going to be an upset as well in the next two games? Because so far, the home teams and the favored teams have blown out their visitors. So do you think a visitor and an underdog can win tonight, or will? Not can, but will. Do you think one of them will win tonight, whether that is Tennessee or Clemson? Let me know in the live chat. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Penn State, Boise State. I did not do a playoff bracket video, which was my bad, by the way. I should have done that, and I probably will. Like, I'll update my playoff bracket predictions as things go on. So there is that. But yeah, 31-3, and we're back. This is a carpet bombing. This is Stalingrad for SMU, and Penn State is the Soviet army that is just encircling them and starving them to death. Just complete, utter domination. So I wonder on it. I wonder with SMU if, it's 28 points. I wonder with SMU, are they still going to be aggressive? And with Penn State more so, I wonder, are we going to see more backups? Because there's less than 20. There's less than 20. Another good return by Brycen Smith. He got out to the 30 of SMU. But I wonder if Penn State, you're really going to see backups now, because you're ahead by 28 points. There is only 23 minutes and 8 seconds left in the game. At that point, just get your because SMU is going to have their starters out there probably for the rest of the game. It's the final game of the year. Why not put your backups in against SMU starters? That's valuable experience right there. We'll see what happens, though. They may want one more drive with the starters. That was a good pickup right there by Roderick Daniels Jr. I believe that goes for a first down. Yup, it goes for a first down. Little screen pass right there by SMU. Out to the 40 of Penn State. Or not of Penn State, but of SMU. You can tell it's still loud, though. They changed the ruling. It's 2nd and 1, but like 2nd and inches, really. It is going to be another screen that's blown up, though. Wow. Caught for like a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the SMU 37. And that right there for Penn State was Davion Collins, backup right cornerback. So younger players are being rotated in and making big plays. 3rd and 3 from their own 37-yard line. A little bit more breathing room now for that Penn State defensive front. And they are going to run it, and Brycen Smith's going nowhere. It's going to be 4th down. Maybe got a yard, but I don't even know if he got that. 4th and 3, 4th and 2 for SMU, who's now 2 of 10 on 3rd down. 2 of 10. 20% 3rd down conversion percentage. Crazy. 4th and 2, they are going to go for it. SMU will. They're going to run it with Brashard Smith. He picks up the first down. Gain of about 2.5. So 1st and 10 at the 40 and a half yard line for the SMU Mustangs. 1 of 3 on 4th down this year. They will go no tempo or up tempo, no huddle. It's going to be a deep shot, and there is going to be PI called on a Davion Collins. So it will be 1st and 10 for SMU at the Penn State 45. Playing younger players. 6:09 left in the third quarter. And we did get a super chat, which, by the way, I will answer at the commercial break. So whoever sent that super chat, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Just stay put, though. I'll answer that at the commercial break. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to send more super chats or more questions, and I'll try and answer them if I can during the commercial break. Yep, 1st and 10. Oh, they rule it 1st and 10 at the 50. It was holding. They called it holding, not PI. 1st and 10 at the 50. Will it be a run? Will it be a pass? Does it matter that much? It is going to be a run for about a gain of 4, and that is L.J. Johnson Jr. So it will be 2nd and 6 from the Penn State 46-yard line. And thank you guys for the 166 likes. Let's try and get up to 200 before the end of the stream. I really appreciate all the likes, the gain subs, and the support. It is a run, but L.J. Johnson gets away despite the O-line getting blown up. Gets about a gain of 9. All the way down to the Penn State 37. Wow. That could have been a TFL, but I tell you, Penn State does a very good job of just strength on strength. But in terms of tackling, that's where they sometimes really falter. It is a pass that's complete down to the 15. That was Hudson on the reception, number 8. Jordan Hudson, been backup wide receiver Z. About 20 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game here. 31-3 Penn State. In terms of yardage, the stat line's almost equal, and SMU has more first downs and more TOP now. But the difference is Penn State has held SMU to no conversions or field goals in their own territory. SMU's defense has not been the same caliber. That's the real difference in this game. Abdul Carter is coming after Kevin Jennings, who flips it. He has such mobility. A lot of mobility, Kevin Jennings does. He's able to outmaneuver Abdul Carter. That's how athletic he is. He gets it down to Brashard Smith, 1st and goal at the Penn State 3. Yeah, that was a good throw, good catch. And there is a false start on SMU's O-line. It's going to be the same thing as the last drive. Get down here, you get all antsy, you're excited, and then false start that sets you way back. Another false start on SMU. They're just not doing well against that Penn State D-line. They're not. It's really on the linebackers. The linebackers for Penn State are allowing some of these bigger runs even when the D-line blows things up. Penn State's defense doesn't do the best job of contain. They do an elite job, though, just strength on strength-wise. All right, it is going to be a play action. I think he wants number 1, but he's not going to get number 1. Instead, it will be a run. It'll be a pass to the end zone. It will be incomplete. 2nd and goal. Jennings is just running everywhere. 2nd and goal from the Penn State 8. 4:05 left in the quarter. They've had a good drive so far. 4 of 5 for 42 yards, Kevin Jennings is on this drive. But can they pay it off? Penn State's crowd is still loud. I don't think any of those Penn State fans are leaving until late 4th quarter at minimum. Little bit of miscommunication there. Incomplete. Caught it, but out of bounds. Catch by Brycen Romello, but it was out of bounds. Landed his feet out of bounds. So 3rd and goal from the 8. Let's see. Did he complete it? Yeah, his foot was on the line. Incomplete pass. 3rd and goal. SMU, 2 of 10 on 3rd downs in this game. Can they make it 3 of 11 to punch it in the end zone? We'll see. Jennings is under pressure. Jennings is sacked all the way back at the 26 by Abdul Carter, who finally got to him after Jennings won the previous battles between the two. But Abdul Carter wins this one, and it's 4th and goal past the 25. Sacked him outside of the red zone. He just went right around Bird, even got held briefly by the left tackle. Didn't matter. Abdul Carter's that good of a player. Absolute non-negotiable. And it's 4th and goal from the 26, so a field goal attempt will be made, and it's good. 42-yarder is good. No! Missed! He missed it. I guess it just didn't have the distance. 31-3. 3 minutes, 22 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. All right, let me get to the super chat. Going for gold 85. This was just a tough year for the first 12-team playoff with the overall weakness of teams. Like if it was a 4-team playoff, who would be your 4? My 4 in the 4-team playoff. It would have been, if you're asking for my personal 4, I would have put Oregon at 1, Georgia at 2, Penn State 3, and either Notre Dame or Texas at 4. That would have been my personal 4. Like, let me look at the rankings here. Notre Dame shouldn't have been for Notre Dame in a 4-team playoff. I mean, well, I don't know because that loss was bad, but Texas lost twice. Well, okay, hold on for a minute. No, never mind. It wouldn't have been Notre Dame. Notre Dame didn't play anyone that... Notre Dame has not faced a single team the caliber that Penn State, Texas, Georgia, and Oregon have played. Like, yeah, they played Indiana, but only in the postseason, and Indiana is not as good as Georgia, Oregon, Texas, or Ohio State, who the top 4 seeds, not seeds, but rated teams by the playoff, Oregon, Georgia, Penn State, and Texas have played in the season. So it would have been 1 Oregon, 2 Georgia, 3 Penn State, and 4 Texas. That would have been my 4-team playoff bracket, with Oregon and Texas as one semifinal game, Georgia, Penn State as the other. And it's not even seeded due to rematches. It's seeded because Oregon and Georgia have the best resumes of the 4, and I think Penn State's better than Texas, so therefore I'd put Penn State ahead of Texas. And just coincidentally, that avoids the rematch. That's just my opinion. That would be my top 4. So thank you, Going for Gold 85, for the $5 super chat. Yeah, but we have to remember, too, there were a lot of blowouts in the semifinal games as is. So this isn't necessarily something new. It will be more common due to more teams being in the playoff and less like the percentage of teams in the playoff who are elite will decrease. But it's not like it's never happened before. SFS inverted, you can nap if you want. You can just nap. It's okay. At this point, the spamming, I can take care of the spamming at this point because the game's over. You're not just because I appointed you a mod, that's a volunteer thing. Like, just do it when you feel like doing it. Unless you really want to do it. It's not an emergency. It is going to be a handoff to Nicholas Singleton, and Singleton's able to get wide and pick up a gain of about 8-9 yards out to the Penn State 34. And yes, I hope Jennings does not let this game define his career. I agree with that. I hope that he bounces back. Nicholas Singleton, 10 carries, 66 yards, and a touchdown in this game. He is going to pass 900 rushing yards on the year, 8 rushing touchdowns. Could easily get to 1,000 yards and 10 rushing touchdowns, depending on what he does for the rest of this game and also against Boise State. Alrighty. It's a handoff to Katron Allen. Katron Allen powers his way through for about a gain of 6 out to the Penn State 45, I do believe. No, to the 45. Or to the 40. Not 45, to the 40. Cade Klubnik, 33 passing touchdowns, third in FBS. That's how you know the clock rules take into effect. Is 33 passing touchdowns used to not even be top 5, maybe not even top 10 some years in football. Now, because the meta has changed, so even without clock rules, the teams were playing more ball control, less up-tempo, and the clock rules on top of that make it so that you're not going to be seeing many teams with 40 passing touchdown QBs this year, which is rare in general, but not very common. Katron Allen with a strong, powerful run, a gain of about 6, maybe 7 yards out to the Penn State 46. Trench play is just taken over for Penn State right now. The Nittany Lions have ran for 4.8 yards per carry in this game. On the season, they are averaging 5.3 yards per carry on the season on the ground, which is 15th, and 202.2 rushing yards per game, 16th. They have 120 rushing yards right now, 4.8 yards per carry. They're just going to want to wind down that clock and get on out of there. That's what Penn State's going to want to do. Maybe punch it in for like 38 points. And Katron Allen, open space. He's going to power his way past the 50, I think down to the 37 of SMU. Nice run of 17 yards by Katron Allen. And Penn State is 264 total yards, 15 first downs to SMU's 206 and 17. But SMU 3 turnovers, 2 of them pick sixes. And Penn State has just been more effective in the red zone than SMU has. Final play of the third quarter is about to be the case this play. Allen, 8 carries, 55 yards, 1 touchdown. They wind that clock all the way down. It is a toss to Nicholas Singleton. Singleton briefly has some space, gets about a gain of 4 yards to the SMU 33, and that is going to take us to the end of the third quarter, where both teams scored 3 points each. Still 28-point lead for Penn State. End of the third quarter is upon us. We're going to take an ad break here. Then I'll be back. Make sure to ask any questions. Shoot anything you have at me, and let's get to 200 likes, guys. Really, like this video up. Let's get to 200 likes. We have 200 current viewers, and I think we can get up to 200. And also make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Muted there, but caught myself. I'm putting on my my blue light glasses to just make it easier on my eyes for the rest of this. Did not expect that to happen. Yeah, their Anri is the brand of the blue light glasses, in case any of you are curious. Pretty cheap, pretty effective. It'll just help my eyes not be strained for like the final 30 minutes of the game, so that I'm more rested and better prepared to once again have this type of stream with Texas and Clemson. And I just forced someone out. They're not Bots be gone. Alrighty. So, Tom Landry once said, if you're doing something good and the other team can't stop it, keep doing it until they stop it. Amen. Ohio State definitely would get in ahead of Penn State if it was a 4-team playoff, Ryan Hobbs says. No, they wouldn't, because they have a worse loss than Penn State. They would not. If it was a 4-team playoff, Ryan Day would probably have an even hotter seat, because they would be out, straight up. I mean, if it was a 4-team playoff, the only thing that may have changed seeding-wise was Notre Dame getting in over one of Penn State or Texas. And probably Penn State. But I don't know about that whatsoever. Another chat one. No way. You put 11-2 conference champ loser over 10-2 regular season team that didn't make it. I do think OSU's the better team, but they didn't win when they needed to. Exactly. And that was a pickup of 7 yards, I believe, by Katron Allen, or at least 6. The SMU players are just mad. There's an injury going on, though, unfortunately. Hopefully this SMU player is okay. I actually right now think Penn State's better than Ohio State, but maybe that's going out on a limb. I think that the what helped to beat Penn State for OSU, Seth McLaughlin helped a lot. Penn State never got full interior leverage on that game. It was either even slight Penn State win or slight Penn State loss up front in the interior of the O-line. Right now, Penn State would wreck that interior offensive line for OSU. McLaughlin was a huge part of the reason why Ohio State was able to do well in that game. And I also imagine that that was a wake-up call for PSU, because they hadn't faced a defense that good. And that's really point number 3. Point number 2 is that Penn State's offense has looked better after that OSU game than it did before. And even in this game, they've only put 17 points up on the board offensively, but SMU's defense, it's not as good as OSU's, but it might be a similar caliber defense to Oregon's, for example. And yeah, it's not the perfect game for Penn State offensively, but you don't need the perfect game here. Just play a better game against Georgia, and yeah, you're going to win probably, I'd assume 38-3. Maybe it's even worse. Maybe they score 40 points. It's like a super dominant playoff win. Right now, yeah, Katron Allen picked up a first down. Penn State now on the ground, 147 yards, 5.3 yards per carry, and 2 rushing touchdowns. SMU, mostly because of sacks, is only averaging 2.1 yards per carry on 64 rushing yards. Do you believe Ole Miss should have had this spot, Sam? No, you can't lose to 4-8 Kentucky and lose 2 other games and be in the playoff. No way. OSU and Notre Dame would be first teams out IMO. That's probably, yes, they would have been. Ohio State head-to-head, 2 top 5 wins. Penn State 0 ranked wins. Strength of schedule matters. Well, Penn State, they got a win over Illinois, who's a ranked team. And their losses were to Ohio State and Oregon by an average of 7.5 points. So 1 possession losses. Ohio State, sure, they crushed Indiana, beat Penn State on the road, and they lost to Oregon at home by 1. But they lost to Michigan, who was 7-5 and couldn't score more than 20 points per game at home by 3. That's a loss that's pretty close to Ole Miss's loss to Kentucky, if we're being honest. It's a horrible loss. Can't lose that type of game and get in the playoff. Can't do it. Because I will tell you this, Penn State would have beaten Indiana at home, and they would have beaten Michigan. They would have. Okay, 1st and 10 at the SMU 27 is going to be a run for Nicholas Singleton. Nicholas Singleton gets through a hole, and he is going to get down to the SMU 9, so a run of 18 for Nicholas Singleton. It is 1st and goal. But if SMU beat one of Florida or Kentucky and they were 10-2, I'd put him in with the win over Georgia. It was just that 3rd loss, in my mind, killed all reason to put them in, especially since the losses were bad. 4-8 Kentucky, 8-4 Florida when DJ Lagway was probably still a little bit banged up, and also lost to an LSU team that has 4 losses. And it's Brian Kelly's worst team since he went 4-8 and was almost on the hot seat after 2016. Okay, they run it up the middle, and it's about a gain of 5 for Katron Allen, I believe. Action figure, you're saying hi to all of us. Hello. I'm hoping you're not a bot or you're not spamming, but hi. If you keep spamming, though, I'll have to. Yeah. Illinois is my sleeper team next year. Big fan of Luke Altmaier. Yeah, if they can keep winning one-possession games or get to the point where they're not playing in so many one-possession games, next year they're definitely a sleeper team. My nose is a little bit plugged up, but after this game's going by pretty quickly. James Franklin took a timeout. 13 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This game will be over at 3:30, if not earlier. And then that'll give me plenty of time to get the Texas, Clemson, and also Tennessee, Ohio State depth charts together. And we'll go from there. But Penn State's now averaging 5.7 yards per carry, 2 rushing touchdowns. They have 170 rushing yards. They'll probably cross 200 at the end of the game. They haven't even crossed 300 yards yet. Penn State hasn't. It's just hilarious. It's again the pick sixes, and they've gotten short fields from SMU turnovers or failures on fourth down. Cinematic ramblings. Are these just like bots that are saying hi to everyone? Tight formation for Penn State. They hand it off, and Allen easily gets in. SMU's defense has quit. Katron Allen with a rushing touchdown. It'll be 38-3 Penn State pending the extra point. Good for him. And it originally was a trick play formation, but then they brought everyone in. Looked like they had I think they had an extra offensive lineman in the game. 38-3, 9 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes, 26 seconds of possession. Penn State punches it in with a 4-yard Katron Allen run. They crossed 300 yards with 301 total yards in this game. They're averaging 5.6 yards per carry with 3 rushing touchdowns. They'll get the ball back. And by the way, guys, at this point, we're only 21 likes away from 200, so help us get to 200 likes. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me see. Bots. Okay, I don't know what they're doing here. Is YouTube going to flag this for invalid viewership? I hope they don't. I'm going to hide these guys on the channel. All right. Yep, more bots. I got rid of all of them. Okay. 12-team playoff was such a bad idea. Yeah, they need to shrink it to 8 or expand to 16, and I'll tell you what they need to do, too. They need to expand Conference Championship Week. And what I mean by that is you create a I think what you do is you create a 4-team bracket. A 4-team conference championship bracket for all the Power 4 conferences. Top 4 teams, they get to play. The winners of those 2 first games get to go on for the conference championship game, which is its own additional week. But then for what was typically conference championship week, you have the semifinals for the conference championship playoffs. But then all the other teams of the conferences, even those with losing records, get to play an extra game too, where they're paired with a team of similar caliber next to them. That way we get another sample size of regular season games. We get more conference championship games. Then ideally, At that point, you probably shrink the playoff to 8 teams because then you just know who the national champions are. You get more of a sample size, and the better teams may even play 2 extra games. Or maybe you just do that but leave it at 12. Or you expand to 16 or maybe expand to 14. But just no more than 16 teams in the playoff, please. Loving your content. Just subscribe to keep me updated. Thank you, Bloodhound Little J. I appreciate it. Hope to see you more, not just for live streams, but for regular videos. I got asked by another fan what game I would want back as a Husker fan this year, and it'd be that Illinois game. I think that loss and complete overtime collapse hurt our psyche. There's a good chance of that going for gold. Even more so than the Indiana beatdown. Imagine if Oregon played SMU. Oh, it would be probably 42-10, I would say. Oregon does not have the same defense that Penn State does, but they do have a much better offense. Okay, you can't spam, man. Yeah, you're getting put out. You can't be spamming. Don't do that stuff. Certainly feels like you're a bot. Okay, SMU's going to try and return it again with Brashard Smith. He gets out to the 21-yard line, though. Yeah, Oregon would have destroyed SMU easily. There is a flag. What's the flag about? Looks like it's going to be on SMU. Personal foul, chop block, SMU, so they're going to be backed up further. I'd imagine the final score of the game's like 45-3 or 45-10 Penn State. Because now SMU is going to be backed up. I have no clue what they're going to be doing. Although if you're Penn State, you put in all your backups now. There's no reason to get injuries. Their backups will probably score because SMU looks completely disinterested and demoralized. So we'll just have to see. Gosh, man. You're not. I'm going to keep removing you. Andrew Hay, they're the put out on the third for the third out due is up, Sam. Can PSU win a natty with very little wide receiver production? I would say yes, because it's a down year. And also, Michigan won it all last year without having world-beating receivers. 2nd and 4. They ran a quick play, but then they only got back to the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 3rd and 4. Tennessee versus Ohio State is the only game worth watching, to be honest. I don't know. I only say that because Texas's offense is worse than Notre Dame's. It's worse than Penn State's. Their defense, I'd say, is a little bit better. But Texas is going to play Clemson closer than these other teams, I think. And Clemson is more blue-chip talent than SMU and Indiana, so their ceiling is probably higher than these teams. Pass that is complete due to some soft coverage there. That was a great catch by Keshawn Smith for a first down. But Robert Rogers, I do think Tennessee-Ohio State could be a game where there's an upset that occurs. Kevin Jennings is back there. He's going to try and pass deep, and it is dropped. 8 dropped it right there. That was Jordan Hudson with a drop. Okay. Scumbags. Why are people... George, why are you spamming? Please don't spam, George. Yeah, spam. They're going to run a weird speed option where Jennings just like kind of stumbles and gets tackled for a 4-yard loss. That right there was Zane Duran. I don't know why the starters are still in. I have a ton of respect for Penn State. No disrespect intended. Unfortunately, I don't think so. The other contenders, the CFP, have elite run defenses. Georgia does. Notre Dame doesn't. Oregon doesn't. Really, it's only Ohio State, Georgia, and Texas that do. But even then, what happened? Was that a false start? Or what was that? Was that a hold? That may have been a hold. He almost had him. Kevin Jennings threw a good ball, or not a good ball, but there's just some miscommunication there. I respect what you're saying going for gold, though. It's hard to run on Georgia. Georgia Tech did it, though. I think Penn State can run on anyone, but that's a can. That doesn't mean they will. If Ohio State passes by Oregon, they run the table. Very well could. Oregon, I think, is the best team in the nation, but Ohio State has enough weaknesses on the O-line and inconsistency to where it's not a guarantee. SMU will punt it away. This looks like it's a pretty mediocre punt. It's fair caught at the Penn State 43. Why didn't they replace Jennings after the first few picks? It was obvious the stage was too big for him. Because their backup Preston Stone is transferring away to Northwestern. I think that's the simple reason why. Do you believe Florida State bounces back next season? If you mean bounce back by reach a bowl game, probably. But did they win enough games to keep Norvell safe or to give confidence? I don't think so. You do not want to play a Kirby Smart-led team in the postseason. No, you do not, Robert Rogers. You do not. That's how you lose. That's how you lose. That's how you lose. JW, I have Tennessee beating Ohio State by a strong defensive line performance and an aggressive run offensive scheme. Very well could happen, but I think Ohio State wins big. All right, we're going to take an ad break here before Penn State gets back for what will likely be one of their final drives. Game's already over, but want to broadcast until the end. See you guys soon. So, yeah, I mean, so far, games have been snoozers. So far, they have been snoozers. Thank you all for the watch time, for the views, for the super chats, for everything. It's been fantastic. We're going to get like close to 60,000 views on this stream at the end. That was not me who texted going away. Oh, not now they're mad. They're mad. I'm going to remove you. Fake college football with Sam. Shut up. Go away. My chat is frozen, so unfortunately I don't think I'm going to be able to deal with this guy. Oh, this sucks. I think I may need to get a new computer because it's just running so much, and even though this is a gaming laptop, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Yeah, of course you guys knew it wasn't the real me, because I'm not a jerk. The only people I like question or say like you're not doing a good job to, or like false start for Penn State. The only people I say that to are like the coaches or players when they're not, yeah, an imposter. What do you think of the rest of the season looks like for Penn State? I think they beat Boise to get to 13 wins, and if they face Notre Dame, they beat Notre Dame. If they face Georgia, oh, Grunkmeyer is in. Good for him. If they face Georgia, I think it's a coin flip. I think Penn State is the better team than Georgia, like roster on the field wise. But I can't count out Kirby Smart. I'll have to wait to see how that one goes. Oh, thank you, Going for Gold, $5. Since this game is a dumpster fire, let's talk future. What Big Ten sleeper teams do you have for next year? Thank you for the $5 super chat, Going for Gold. I appreciate it. I'm thinking Illinois. I am thinking Nebraska, but not as much Nebraska as Illinois. And I'm thinking Michigan, too. I think Michigan will bounce back. Just because their schedule gets easier, they have a better QB, better offensive coordinator, and they return some guys. Oh, Grunkmeyer threw a pick. So SMU gets the ball back in Penn State territory. Yeah, the final score here will be 38-3 or 38-10. Harrison Wallace. No, that's not Harrison Wallace. I think that's someone else wearing number 6. Franklin's mad. Franklin's furious. Was that Harrison Wallace III? I don't think it was, but maybe it was. Wore number 6, but I don't think that was Harrison Wallace. I think there was a jersey switch. With Khalil Ognati. Clemson is more blue chip talent than Penn State and Notre Dame, yet you think they aren't capable of winning like those teams. Just proves your Northern football bias. Because Clemson can't stop the run. Let me tell you, it's not big. It's not Northern bias or whatever that is. It's just like it's not SEC bias to say that South Carolina would compete better than SMU, or it's not SEC bias to say that like Texas is going to smoke Clemson, because they probably will. You want to know why? Because Clemson is giving up 4.5 yards per carry, which is 76th. All that blue chip talent, and they can't stop the run to save their lives. They can't do it. I don't know why they can't do it, but they can't do it. And then Clemson on top of that defensively allows 5.2 yards per play, which is 48th, and they allow 23 points per game, which is 38th, and 0.33 points per play, which is 30th. Their defense is not good. It's just an above-average unit. In fact, for Power 4 standards, it might be one of the worst defenses by efficiency given the talent they have. Offense is better with Garrett Riley, but no, they can't win it all. They can't. They can't do it. Saying they can win it all, oh, that's a hold on SMU. Saying they can win it all is about as good as, I don't know, saying that, like, SMU can win it all. Like, they can't. Or maybe there was a weird world where they could, but it was unlikely. How do we fix the playoff now, Sam? How do you fix it? This won't happen because they're not going to shrink the playoff. How you fix it? How you fix it is you shrink it to 8 teams, but you expand conference championship week. That is how you fix it. 8 teams means that, like, Florida State in 2023 or Oregon that year, who could have won it all if they were in, they don't get left out, because sometimes there are more than 4 near elite or elite teams in a given season, but there's really never more than 6 or 7, even in strong years. You move it to 8, you get rid of the byes, shrink the field, you expand conference championship week, though. You do that to like 4-team playoffs there. Oh my gosh, almost another pick. It's or that's an opinion of mine. Or it's the same thing, but you expand it to 16, and then that's it. And then again with conference championship week, you also have games. Oh, roughing the passer for Penn State. Killer penalty. And then you expand conference championship week to where, like, you know how in 2020, the Big Ten had those games during conference championship week where, you know, during the final week of the season, you got to see, like, Illinois play Penn State, all those type of games, for example. You do that. And that's just normal. They did it in 2020, and I know that got viewership. So you just do that. Penn State took a timeout. Penn State and Notre Dame loses to the first legitimate teams they face. So does Clemson. I mean, Penn State's beaten SMU 38-3, and Clemson couldn't hang on. They had to hang on by a thread to beat this SMU team. I mean, Penn State would beat Clemson by like 30 points. Would be over. Georgia already beat Clemson by 30 points, and it might even be worse now, even with the backup QB and the injuries. Clemson, the only reason Clemson has a shot against Texas is because Texas's offense is busted. It's one of the most busted offenses I've ever seen for that amount of talent in a room. It's a complete juxtaposition, by the way, to Texas's defense. Texas's defense is not as talented as the offense. But the defense is much better coached, and they're more fundamentally sound. So therefore, they may have the nation's best defense. Meanwhile, another speed option by SMU that went nowhere. Or a pitch. Meanwhile, for Texas, their play calling on offense is suspect. Ewers has been wildly inconsistent. The receivers have not taken the steps forward that you've wanted them to. It's just a mess. Now Beaver Stadium's beginning to empty out, but not entirely. 38-3, 8:10 left in the game. 2nd and 7 at the SMU 2nd and 7 at the SMU or Penn State 35, but now it's going to be 3rd and 1 at the Penn State 28. SMU will probably get a garbage time touchdown here. Very, very likely. Pick best 8 teams, reseed them 1 versus 8, etc. That could be a good idea. And then the first. Yup, they got a garbage time touchdown. 28-yard pass from Kevin Jennings to, that was number 28, I believe. Or, no, that was 13, Roderick Daniels Jr. SMU touchdown. 38-9, maybe extra point, maybe field goal. I don't know what they'll do. I don't think you're a Clemson fan. I actually remember from your comments, I believe you're a Georgia fan. Cooley. You're a Georgia fan. All I'm saying is that blue chip talent means a lot, and at points I think I've underrated it this year, but it doesn't mean everything. Clemson can't win it all. There's no way. And I agree with you, though, on the point that auto bids are garbage. They are. They need to expand it to a number that makes buys impossible. Like 8, 16, 4, 32 is way too much. If they do the 32-team college football playoff, just bleh, get rid of it. Yup, touchdown SMU. And they kick the extra point to make it 38-10. Wow. What a day. We're only 13 likes away from 200. So try and get us to 200. It's only 13 more likes. Help us get to that number. Thank you very much. Hot take, I think South Carolina should have gotten it over SMU, and I'm an Alabama fan. 6 straight wins, including Clemson. Yeah, if there was any argument for any of the teams getting in, it would have been South Carolina in my mind, because their losses were better. I know their wins weren't exactly better than Alabama's or Ole Miss's, but their losses were better. And analytics said that South Carolina was about as good as Ole Miss and Alabama. The only reason they were never power rated as high as power ratings rely on priors. And South Carolina started the season ranked fairly low in priors. Okay, third quarter is basically NA, outside of the fact that PSU wore down SMU. Okay, I'm going to start looking at depth charts, I think. Oh, we're only 4 likes away from 200. Let's get there. It'd be epic if we got there. 2 likes away. 2 more, and we were going to hit 200, guys. Thank you so much for that support. It's just awesome. I hope Penn State runs the ball here, use up the clock, and score. Yep, that's what I'm hoping for, too. Yep, cross 200. Thank you. But you can't have South Carolina in over a team with the same conference record as Alabama when Alabama doesn't have the win. Yeah, that's another thing, too. With the rules they've set up, everything's screwed. They need to change the rules. They need to modify them. SMU's going to kick it off, no onside, though they put it in onside formation. And Penn State's going to try and... Nope, they're not going to try and return it. Katron Allen just slides down inside the Penn State 9. Let's hope Texas-Clemson is a better game. I certainly hope so. I agree with that. Okay, let me prepare the depth charts for Texas-Clemson. I'll be still talking to you guys. Yeah, this is just blowout. Took a while for Penn State to get going, but Penn State is clearly one of the best teams in football. Same thing with Notre Dame. And they just outclassed SMU in a same or perhaps I'd say even more dominant way than Notre Dame did IU, honestly. They have Grunkemeyer in. They're going to hand it off just for about a gain of 1. Game's basically over. I'm just going to prepare the depth charts. That way I don't have to, do much more than that. And I do agree, yeah, South Carolina was playing near elite at the end of the year, which also shows that, Clemson was playing good too. But then again, Clemson, it's a rivalry game. Clemson was hosting them. I think Clemson can win a few playoff games, but win it all, no. They don't have the depth. It's kind of the same thing with South Carolina. If South Carolina got in, I wouldn't view them as a true national title contender. What are you talking about with plain uniforms, Kevin Chavis? I mean, I understand it. I think that Michigan's is better. I think Ohio State's is better than those two. Georgia, I think, is better uniforms. But I also think that their uniforms are still pretty good. Hot take, PSU gets overconfident and chokes to Boise. It'd be the most James Franklin thing ever, but we'll have to see. Because Boise's more one-dimensional than SMU is and doesn't have nearly as good of a defense. Though their rushing defense is pretty good. But, again, they've played mostly garbage competition. Penn State will be only Oregon. And when Boise played Oregon, Oregon was not the same team as they are now. So, relative to the time they played their opponents, Penn State will be the best opponent Boise's played all season long. Thankfully, they get a bye to prepare, though. And it's 3rd and 8. Grunkemeyer is going to throw. It is caught, and it's actually a first down. So Penn State gets to extend the drive. Sam can always take my comments. That's why I watch this guy, even if I don't agree. Most people block or fume. Keep disagreeing with me, because you're going to be right sometimes. I'm going to be wrong sometimes, because the reality is, I'm not perfect. I have a lot to learn with football. Formations. This is the first year that I've really made my own depth charts for these games. I'm still learning here. I hope that I can become, the next big college football channel. We'll see. I certainly hope so, but criticism is always appreciated, because if I can't take criticism, what's the point? I'm like Joel Klatt, who was a clown for, Penn State could have a whiteout at noon. Shut up. Shut up. It's better at night. Although Penn State did show out today. But yeah, I appreciate you, cool. I don't know if that's your actual name or not. If it is, I'm struggling to pronounce it, and that's my apologies. But yeah, I like having you on. You disagree with me, I disagree with you. There have been times where we agree, though, where you say the College Football Playoff Committee should be given a life sentence, because I don't know why they ever created this format. Like, they should just expand it to 8 teams. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe 16. Like, why the 12? 16 or 8 would have been better for the sport. Think about it this way. If it's 16 teams, maybe there are blowouts, but at least Oregon gets an easier path and they're not hosed. I think it's just 8 or 16 was always going to be better than 12. Always. I gotcha. I was unfamiliar with your game. I was apologetic if it came across as combative. What was... Third and 3, it's going to be another run just to burn out the clock. It's a TFL for SMU, but it'll be 3 minutes left in the game. Yeah, 8 was the dream. And then you have the two New Year's Six bowls that rotate, of course. The first round still at home, and then the other New Year's Six bowl games still occasionally will get a top 10 team, because like 9 will be left out, 10 will be left out. Top 15 teams will still be in the New Year's Six bowls, and that way you expand the playoff while still maintaining some semblance of things. But I believe they expanded to 12 because they wanted to get a G5 team in, and they wanted fewer opt-outs. Just better TV. Which I agree. 12-team CFP is better for TV. Way better. But I don't think it's necessarily better for the sport. And 16 teams would have been better for the sport and better for TV. So I don't know why they just didn't expand it to 16. Think about it. You expand it to 16 and you have 8 first-round games. Not just 4. And you can do, like... You can do 2 of them on, like, Thursday. 3 of them on Friday. 3 on Saturday. Or maybe what you do is you do... I mean, I don't know. Do, like... Yeah. Just kind of is what it is. Or maybe you do 2 of them in the same time frame, because people with YouTube TV will watch both of them at once. So you still get more viewership that way. It's going to be a handoff TFL. I mean, I'm not even calling the game anymore, because what's there to call? I called what I needed to call. There's nothing else. Oh, fumbled snap. I think it was recovered by SMU, but maybe it was recovered by Penn State. Too many games need to shorten the regular season if that is the case. I see your point there, AZ Nurse. That's a good point you brought up. I think the ball's with SMU still, but they're going to wind it down to the 2-minute warning. Okay. You know what time it is? It's depth chart time. Yup, time to look at the depth charts, my guys. Time to look at the depth charts. SFS Inverted, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Regardless of format, someone will always be left out or complain that they were left out. Yes, that is also true. I do think it's harder, though, to present the argument that you deserve to be in. Like Alabama. Alabama's not complaining the same. Well, they probably are, but not everyone, there's not the same outrage nationally because Bama had 3 losses. So someone is always going to complain. Yes, you don't want to expand the playoff to satisfy people. You want to expand it for reasons that it's better for the sport or it's better for TV. But you got to balance that too, because like a 32 team playoff, that would be stupid. Like at that point, you're adding more blowout games to the schedule. It's not worth it at that point. But great point by you there, SFS Inverted. They didn't want the top 4 teams to possibly get put out in the first round. Well, too bad. Too bad for them. They can go away. If they're so confident that the Big Ten and SEC are the best conferences, which they are and by a mile, let them play in the first round. Let them play. Like, come on, guys. If that's true, that's weak. Wow, 38-10. Penn State's going to finish with like 181 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, something along those lines. Okay, time for Texas and Clemson. That's what it's time for. Hopefully that game is better. I can feel the tiredness overtaking me already, but we can power through. I'm going to try and get both the Clemson, Texas, and Tennessee, Ohio State depth charts done. Both of them. That way it's just easier. Like, that way I can actually have like a break after Texas Clemson. Which will probably be a longer game because Clemson likes to go up tempo with Garrett Riley. Okay. So, Penn State just sends a blitz. Kevin Jennings is going to fling it up there, and it's going to be nearly picked off. Incomplete. 4th and 12. Can this game just end already, LOL? Yeah, it probably can. I mean, part of me almost wants to... No, I'll just start a new stream. I'll start a new stream. You all can find me, by the way. If all of you want to join my next stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Those are the 2 things you need to do to follow my next stream. Do that, and I'll be live at like 3:55 or 4. Yeah, this game will end here. This is the final drive. Yeah, we'll just wait, then I'll do the depth charts, do the necessary editing for the cover arts, and then we'll be ready. We are headed to the Fiesta. Congratulations, Kyle Mason. This is James Franklin's first ever 12-win season. Congratulations. Who do you think the last 4 remaining will be? It'll be intuitively, Penn State, Georgia, and Texas, Oregon is what I'm thinking. Yep, this is the final drive. All Penn State's backups are in, which is why they haven't been able to do anything. The Bowl of Shame. That's funny. The Bowl of Shame. Good idea going for Gold 85. I appreciate that. Good idea. All right. It's going to be another handoff. They're just trying to get these guys some experience. And the next play will be the final play of the game. So, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'm going to shut this stream down right now. I appreciate it a lot. Again, make sure to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this video around, and I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you guys at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for Texas versus Clemson. Probably be live a few minutes earlier, 3:55. But yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. And how does this affect SMU's image, Zach? Well, I think the committee next year is going to be a lot more skeptical of ACC and Big 12 teams, or teams with weak schedules. See you guys soon. Have a great day. Go SMU, go Nittany Lions. I hope to see all of you on the Texas Clemson stream and also the Ohio